Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome back to the FUTception podcast. Today, we have the man, the myth, the legend, KURTS. KURTS, how are you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Let's get this show started.
So, today, guys, we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. We're going to be talking about gameplay. KURTS, a competitive FIFA player himself, so I want to get his point of view in terms of the current state of competitive FIFA. He can go in on EA as a company if he would like. We'll definitely be naming some good things about the game because some people have a misconception that we're only people that only talk about the negatives, but there are some positives here and there that EA do release in the game.
That's very, very true. The
is
soundtrack is pretty good.
the soundtrack. Yeah, so the soundtrack's pretty good. But yeah, we are going to get into it. The first thing that I want to ask you, Kurt, and I think for me personally, what I want to know is, what's the current state of FIFA competitive for you? Because I know that from the previous videos that you've made, you've gotten bans for it. You were banned for I think 2 months, right? You weren't able to compete in the first month and the second month, and for a competitive player, that's a big deal. So it's always the beginning that is the biggest time. It's never the middle or the end. It's always the hype in the beginning, right? So just let me know what your thoughts are towards it, because I'm not really familiar with the scene too much. I just play the game for fun. So
right. So obviously, when it came out, people heard that it's 2 months, right? You think it's not that bad, is it? But I missed in total about half the season, to be exact. So now, for those that don't know, you have to accumulate a certain amount of points this year to get in, as I'm sure people have heard, to finish in the top 16 or wherever it is to qualify for the World Cup or whatnot. So literally for me, there was quite almost zero chance. Not that I care anyways, but so just to clarify, this is all for something that, again, I mean, we might as well go into details, right? In my opinion, I'm innocent. I done nothing wrong. Was I harsh? Sure. You have to be, especially after what I've played, especially after everything that I've seen. Meanwhile, racism got a week ban. Homophobia got a 2-week ban. Mocking the Hillsborough disaster recently got a warning. Every time something new comes up, this is a dagger to my heart, and I cannot sit here and say everything is fine, because it's not. I've accepted that my year is over, whatever. I'm going to miss out. The fans are going to miss out, all because they wanted me out of the scene at all costs. Now I'm back. I wouldn't even say I'm back. Competitive FIFA for me, it's nearing its end, unfortunately. This year I'm going to come back for just one event only, most likely. I'll make that event special. There's a lot of things that I have to do at that event. In terms of results, in terms of everything, none of that matters to me. FIFA as an esport, as a competitive esport, is as good as that to me, especially with this game.
So do you think it's more in regards to the way that the gameplay is, or do you think it's regards to everything?
It's a mixture of both. Okay. To me, this was always, I've never had an issue with EA in the sense, like, to me, it was always just strictly business. I didn't like their game. It stopped at that. Obviously, what happened this year, what transpired this year, yes, it became personal, of course. So we're at a bad state right now. We'll see what happens. As a game, I mean, what is there left to say, really? I am in disbelief that somehow this game is sanctioned to play money on, to play. How this year they got away with that, I will never understand. Like, to me, this game should never, ever be played for money right now. Not in its current state. Absolutely no way.
Because of the current meta of like the finesse shot, move the goalkeeper stuff.
It's not football. So like people that know me, I hated 18. I despised it.
Yeah, me and you both, brother.
Yeah, I adjusted to it. To me, it was not a really like complicated game to adjust. Like, it still resembled somewhat a form of football. So for me, it was not a problem.
There was still a sense of like breaking people down. That's why.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. What I've seen this year. Right. Okay. I admit, obviously, it's impossible for me to be as good as I was this year for obvious reasons, but my brain cannot comprehend what I'm seeing on my screen. I cannot force myself to do these first time finesses. The way I play FIFA, it's always come naturally to me. I play it. I try. No, I'm saying I play it how how it should be played. I'm not a type of guy that like I can't. I'm not going to replicate what I see on my screen in real football. It's never going to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I always try and somewhat not abuse the flaws of the game as much as I could. This year, obviously, the amount of flaws in the game is significantly higher than any other year.
Yes.
Obviously, with what they done, and I'm sure they thought in a way they're going to increase the skill gap, but obviously the opposite happened. So yeah, in terms of a competitive game this year, as I said, I cannot believe it's sanctioned. I have no idea how.
Yeah, I've heard recently as well that so obviously I feel like we don't really need to get too much into the gameplay because we know how broken it
Exactly,
is. I think the time finesse shot meta, the goalie movement,
Exactly,
the goalie movement by itself, Kurt. So as a regular viewer when I'm watching the competitive, because I don't watch them live, I just did those videos to review them, right? And when I watch the 1v1s, and you give me your opinion, right? Because you're a competitive player. Is it not completely dumbfounded, right? Doesn't it make you dumbfounded that you see that when someone gets 1v1, they need to stand in place and wait for the goalie to move before they take the shot? It's ridiculous, right? Like they should be able to, if you have that extra pass to the sides and your tactic is set so that your left mids and your right mids did not come back and block that side, right? And you make that extra pass to the side, you should just be able to take the touch on the inside, finesse it, and then let bygones be bygones. You scored a good opportunity, right? But in this 100%. Game, I was watching Tex versus I think it was MS Dossery, and Tex did a really good passing opportunity, passed to the side. I think it was Tex or it was MS Dossery. I can't remember exactly. And when he got possession of the ball, Kurt, it blew my mind that he had to wait before he took the shot to see where the goalie was going to move. I just think it's an incredibly stupid concept. And as a viewer watching it, it makes me want to click off the stream right away because it's not authentic football. Goalies are not going to move like that in real life. A striker's not going to stop in place like that to wait for the opportunity. For me, it's ridiculous personally.
Yeah, no, it's really simple because, listen, we're not going to beat around the bush here. The person that invented the time finishing and the person that added this manual goalkeeping and stuff like that, if he's still in a job, I'm sorry, it has to come to this point. If he's still in a job, then it's a disgrace. And I'm sorry it has to come to that, okay? I'm sure the guys have family, stuff like that, but you cannot sit there and you cannot add something like that without thinking how it's not going to fuck the game up. Because I can tell you straight away, I could have told this guy straight away, why waste all that time, those energy, those resources on trying to even make this stuff? Just imagine the time wasted. I could tell you straight away if he came to me and tell me, what do you think, Kurt? Do you think adding the keeper movement will make FIFA great? I could sit there straight away and tell you, no, immediately. No, I don't even need a second to even think about it. It's just not going to work, okay? And this guy actually sat there and thought it's a good idea. It actually passed the board meeting or whatever the hell goes on over there. I don't know how. Like,
you're wondering like who makes the decisions for these things to even go through.
No, it's some guy obviously added this. I don't want to refer in this podcast anymore to EA. I'm sorry, because I can't just refer to EA. I have to go beyond this anymore. It's these people, the same developers that have been doing this sort of stuff now for the past few years. And this year, after the year we've just had, FIFA 18, right?
Yeah.
After that year, after everything that happened in that year, this guy actually thought that something like this was going to make the game better. I'm sorry, but that is not acceptable. I can't sit here. No, anyone should sit there and say that's acceptable. That guy should be fired. Simple as that.
There's a huge like misbalance in gameplay. Again, I'm not a comp player, but I see the game in a certain way, right? I think there's a huge misbalance of when we used to play FIFA 18 last year. Yes, you can still break down the opponent's defense, but defensive AI was still very effective. And we'll get into defensive AI in a bit in terms of like the skill gap that it offers and whatnot. But people used to complain about the driven shot meta, and the way that I saw it is that I actually think that you didn't score it enough, because there was actually certain opportunities where you would get in a 1v1 and you know how I always the way I explain the gameplay is that 90-degree angle that closed. Whenever you hit that specific angle in a 1v1, if you hit it across goal from a good opportunity, you don't have any pressure on you, should
and
score.
And they make the leg saves, right?
Yeah, and then they make the leg saves. That, for me, that's the one thing I complained of all the time, because I'm like, dude, you can't have goalie to be effective and for your defense to be effective. You have to choose either or, right? So if you have manual defending, or you have less assisted defending, then yes, your goalie can make those leg saves, and I wouldn't mind. But you can't have both, right? Where you break someone's defense down. It's not. I understand where some people were coming from. Like those angles, Kurt, that were ridiculous. Like they would be facing away from goal, and they would still like do a turnaround driven. Those were ridiculous. I understand that one, but there was actually, for me personally, there was not enough ways to actually score from good angles because of the defensive AI being very effective. And it's the same way with the game this year, right? I feel like defensive AI is effective. It's random, of course, because of all these bounces. These bounces are ridiculous, right? But you have defensive AI to be effective. But not only are your goalies effective nowadays, but now your finishing is more inconsistent. Right? Your finishing was at least on target before, but now your finishing is inconsistent. Like I take a shot, I'm just like, I have to pray to the EA gods. I hope you guys take a good shot for me, because it's either they decide to scuff it or they don't scuff it. You can have 99 finishing, 99 composure, 99 shot power, and your players will still do the exact same thing, right? So I don't know what your thoughts are towards that, but that's the way that I see it whenever I play this game, right?
100%. The shooting should be the most simple thing on the game. As simple as that. And what they've done, obviously, this year it's a crime. And again, it's not even just the keeper movement, and it's not even just it's the time finishing. The shooting, you could feel it. It's like they're kicking a bowling ball. It's like it's not right. The animation of it, you can tell. Like, I mean, honestly, my 5-year-old could shoot better sometimes inside. Like, well, I say my 5-year-old, my 5-year-old cousin could shoot better. It's simple as that. This is stuff that is not complicated. Like it should not be. This is Messi. This is Ronaldo. This is the best players on the game. Then they miss chances. It can't be like this.
It's not even missed chances. Like they completely scuff it. Like they scuff the shots. Yeah.
The animation's wrong.
Kurt, for me personally, like, okay, if the game had a fun concept where you used bronze and silver players and whatnot, then if they scuff those shots, I would be okay with it because there's a balance there. Like, obviously, if you're using bronze and silvers, you're not going to score every single opportunity, right? But if you're using gold players, like if I'm on Salah's left foot, cutting from the right side on the inside, I have that closed 90-degree angle, and I finesse it around the goalkeeper, I expect to score it 90% of the times. If I'm a close distance away from the goalkeeper, we'll have a debate that some chip shots should go in, some shouldn't. We'll have that debate. But a medium distance away from the goalkeeper, it should be going in, honestly, 9 out of 10 times at the very least. It should.
For sure.
Right?
For sure. Listen, I'm going to tell you something, right? If I'm one-on-one, me, with the hair, right? No defenders around me. I'll be able to probably score about 4 out of 10 against him. This is 1v1, right? Mm-hmm. Because that's how easy 1v1s are technically in real life. You know, okay, sometimes the keeper comes out, closes the angle, but like, it should be the easiest thing on the game, man. And it's not over here. It's now even more obviously with the keeper movement. People think it's just a simple side to side, right? Wait until you see some of what the pros are doing. These guys are moving them backwards and sideways. I'm telling you, when I say it's Spider-Man, it is like Spider-Man. They're moving them backwards and sideways, and it's like, so they give him more time to save. It's the most unrealistic thing I think I've ever seen on the game. I'm honestly in disbelief discussing it, to be honest.
It's just not football anymore. You're not really playing a football simulator. And for like, I feel like we've been in the community for a very long time, and I feel like whenever we discuss about football, people are always like, oh, but this is realistic, this is realistic. For us, this is the most unrealistic game ever. Like the way that the game is being played is just not realistic at all, right? And you know, with the gameplay, like we can sit here and talk like for 3 hours about the gameplay, right? And and the thing I want to talk to you about, Kurt, and this is literally the focal point of me about in this community, is the inconsistent gameplay, right? The fact that your game can feel slow, your game can feel normal, your game can feel terrible, good, and amazing, like the amazing. Oh my god, the amazing. But Kurt, it's been like this for years, and they never fix it. You know?
Listen, I know how big you are on this, and I'm not gonna lie, it is obviously by far and away the number one. But the reason I don't speak about it as much is because I don't know the full details. To me, it's don't get me wrong, it is number one issue, no doubt about it. But I am convinced they don't know how to fix it, right? It's
same here.
It's incompetence, but it is incompetence of the highest order, and that's why I'm confused as to why the developers are still the same developers, because it doesn't happen on any other game. I'm not even talking about the big games. I'm talking about the small games as well. I've never seen it on any other game, right?
Yeah.
So the reason I don't talk about it as much is because as I said, it's incompetence, but it is by far and away, you're right, the number one issue. But what I cannot accept, obviously, is when they manually at something like moving the keeper and time finishing, right?
Yeah.
That is something that I cannot accept because that's you manually adding that sort of thing. Don't get me wrong. Gameplay changing, by far number one issue. It's been like this for years, as you said, years. And people don't even understand. Even at the events, you're playing another completely different game. Like everything's different. Everything's got its own different gameplay. Drafts, rivals, weekend league, everything changes. And then it changes during the day as well on top of it all. So it's like it's mind-blowing stuff. But for sure, like, you know, I know how much you keep preaching about that, and you were spot on because, again, it's something that it's been happening for years, like
Yeah.
ever since I can remember. Like,
Yeah, because when I used to play it in FIFA 15, right? I always used to, because Kurt, this is the day and age back then of you're crazy, it's all in your head, you know. But then as the years progress, people are like, you know what? He kind of makes a good point, because you know I did that one video, Kurt, of the delay in FIFA 19, right, where you can clearly see the you know when your gameplay slow, your players start doing the drag touches, right? Dude, you can your thumbstick for 5 seconds will not aim in a particular area and they will still dribble the ball and pass the ball in that area as if someone else is holding your controller and being like, oh, you want to pass the ball backwards. No. Even though for like 5 or 6 seconds in game you never aimed in that direction, we're going to aim in that direction for you. Now for me, like, obviously I completely agree with you, because I think that if they knew what the issue was, they would have already have fixed it, right? It wouldn't,
but
it wouldn't still be
I
a
wanted
thing,
to ask you about
know?
this actually, because like I know you went to the this was probably like several years ago, I can't remember now, but I know you went to the you actually went to their headquarters, right?
Yes.
You literally went there.
Yes.
Like, what vibe did you get out of it? Did you get like, did you think they were going to come out fixing it? Do you think they understood what you were saying, or like?
Okay, so my vibe towards it, Kurt, so I went there twice actually. I went there for FIFA 16 and I went there for FIFA 17. So my general vibe from it, and even if the EA guys watch this, you know me, Kurt, I don't give a fuck, right? The general vibe just wasn't good. Because here's what happened the first time that I went there, right? And I explained this in another video too, as some people already know this, is that in FIFA 16, when I used to complain to a certain someone, I'm not going to mention him because he pisses me off to this day, right? But I used to mention to this one person about inconsistent gameplay, preached it to him. Every single day I would write messages like, oh, come check out the stream and watch. Because Kurt, you and I know that when you are watching gameplay, from kickoff, the first 5 seconds of you looking at your screen, without you even playing, you know when it's bad or good just because of the dribbling, right? So I used to like message this one guy. I used to tell him like, yo, you know, the gameplay's inconsistent, so on and so forth. So he's like, this is what happened, Craig, exactly. He's like, okay, we're going to bring you to the studios. But he didn't say what I was going to do there, right? He's like, we're going to bring you to the studios and then you're going to do whatever. Kurt, I went there for 2 or 3 days. And do you know how long I spent? Maybe a total of 2 hours. You know what I was doing for the rest of the time there?
Yeah.
I was working on a mobile FIFA game. Kurt, me working on a mobile FIFA game. Me, the guy who does not give a single fuck about mobile FIFA. But at first, Kurt, you know, I'm young in the scene, right? I'm young in the scene. I was like, you know what? At least
maybe
they
mistook you
here.
for Bateson, I guess. I don't know. Like, that's crazy.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Listen, take Bates and fly him over there and let him work on FIFA. But they can't take you. They can't take pro players. What I'm hearing is a disgrace. But go on. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay. So when I went there, I was like, you know what? At first, Kurt, again, I'm new to the scene in terms of like going there and whatever. So I'm like, okay, you know what? At least I got a relationship with these people. Like I met some of the EA devs, so on and so forth. And Kurt, listen to me, and I'm going to say this, man. There are EA devs there that want to change this game, and they know exactly what we're talking about. They know, right? Yeah. But it's the higher ups, you know. So, but there's a lot of guys that I met there, really, really nice guys. One guy who recently left, Angry Nate. You remember Angry Nate, right?
Yes.
Loved this guy. Kurt, I'm telling you, when I got there, this guy was throwing ideas at me in terms of gameplay content, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Still friends with him to this day. I talk to him all the time. And when I got home, I was like, okay, that was a waste of time, but whatever. And then the second time, Kurt, the second time that I went there, they were going to invite 4 players, but they wanted to invite 4 competitive players. These guys know who they are. They're probably in the stream right now in terms of who we went with, right?
I remember. So
they brought 3 actual competitive players. I'm not a competitive player. I don't want to be one, right? But they're like, okay, we're going to invite the 4th one. And what I did not know, Kurt, is that I was a last second inclusion, because it was actually supposed to be Spencer that was supposed to go. And Spencer doesn't like traveling, obviously. So he's like, okay, I don't want to go. And so on. I went. completely disorganized. All the three of the guys got the compensations in terms of certain things, right? And when I got there, I was like, okay, whatever, I'll deal with it, because I just came here to fix a game.
Yes.
And then when we got there, Kurt, we had 4 monitors, and 3 of the monitors had more delay than the 4th one, and the 4th one still had delay on it. So it's like, we got there and we're just sitting there like, dude, this is a colossal waste of time. Like, we can't try out a game that has delay. Like, we just can't do it. We're all sitting here in the same room and this game has delay. Like, this is ridiculous, right? And then the one thing I'm going to tell you, Kurt, the one thing that really disappointed me, man, and this just makes you feel like a piece of shit. When we're in the room and all the gameplay guys came in, right? They were talking about the specific game mechanics, and I'm the only one, Kurt, that brought up, guys, your gameplay is inconsistent. I even did this in FIFA 16 when that 1 hour we had for console. I told them your gameplay is inconsistent. You guys have good, great, bad, amazing, like blah blah. That's the main issue you guys got to fix with the game, because without that, people are gonna have different opinions about your game because they're getting different gameplays. And I was just completely ignored, Kurt. I was ignored.
And you know, I remember everything. It's not everything, obviously. I wasn't there, but I remember. You were there, and you obviously were the only one you said that obviously brought up the game. So I know you don't want to throw anyone under the bus, and I don't expect you to, but I will, because I don't care. I don't know who's listening to this, right?
Do it!
Tass, you were there as well, right? And you were more busy holding your hazard shit that they gave you for winning a stupid little tournament, than fixing our game, right? Right? Don't say anything, Inception. I don't even expect you to say anything.
I'm gonna say your brother. You can say whatever you want.
Don't even say anything, right? Because this is exactly what I've been saying for the last 3, 4, 5 years. Nothing's gonna get fixed because these guys don't even care. The rest of them don't care. Pro players, they're cowards now, even more so now, more than ever. Because obviously, what happened to me and what happened to these little guys, they can't say anything. They got these managers now in their teams telling them, "Don't you dare say anything." No, because it's all about this esport. Why? What goddamn esport? Look at it. You are destroying it. But anyways, and obviously content creators who care more about getting invited to some capture event or getting that little blue team of the year, so they can pick their little players out of their role to try and revive their dead channel, because that's unfortunately what's happening right now. But then I'm the one in the wrong, so go ahead and ban me for that, right? But go on, Inception.
Yeah. So you know me, Kurt. So the way that people view you in the community is that like this. Here's the thing, Kurt. Even if I don't agree with you, because even in the past I didn't agree with you in some things, I still respect you as an individual because that's your opinion. You view certain people. You view the game. Exactly. It's your opinion. I'm not gonna hate you for you having your own opinion. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And for me, dude, honestly, Kurt, like, this is something I gotta say, man. People don't understand how much I actually give a shit about this game. Like, Kurt, you'll make videos about this game, but no one in this entire community, man, wants this game to be fixed more than me, man. I'm telling you, like, I'm willing to risk everything, Kurt, to make this game better. And honestly, dude, I was even talking to my parents the second time that I went there, and I'm like, I'm actually so heartbroken right now because I care so much, and I'm not getting that like thing back. I'm not getting that same passion back. And it's these are people that are working here, these people of the community, and I felt like shit, because I was like, dude, like, I care so much and I just feel like no one else really does. Like, you feel like an outsider, you know what I mean? Like, exactly. That's why I wanted to have you on the podcast, Kurt, because even if you're controversial, even if you bring up other people, when you talked about the gameplay, that one video when you were talking about the beta, I was like, oh my god, if Kurt's saying this, we're fucked. We're gonna be fucked. Because you were saying, like, you were like, at some point, Kurt, the one thing that you mentioned was the driven shot. I actually like the new driven shot in terms of the commands, like LB, RB, and circle.
Yeah, we've got more used to it now.
Yeah, when you get used to it, it's way better than circle.
Still an octopus thing for me, but I don't know. It's just personal opinion.
Yeah, it's personal opinion. But I like that it's consistent,
Yeah, fair enough.
But, dude, when you were talking about the specific gameplay mechanics, like when you got in the 1v1s and then you would miss certain opportunities and then your opponent would score like some bullshit opportunities, I was like, bro, because Kurt, I watched your gameplay in the past 2 or 3 years ago, and you play football where you're just like, fuck skill moves, I want to dribble and pass, I want to break your defense down. And that's something I always told people. I'm like, dude, that's an attractive way of playing football. He's not using any skill moves. He's using
Yep.
maybe one or two once in a while, but then he's trying to actually break the defense down. So when you were telling me what you had to do, or telling the community what you were doing in the beta, I was like, dude, we're fucked. Like even if gameplay is inconsistent, I was like, we're fucked. We're literally fucked.
People don't even know the full story about that, because as you know, the beta comes out roughly in August, right?
Yes.
And I had the World Cup in August. It was like the beginning of August. Obviously, I'm, had a good tournament, whatever, but I'm still devastated because I was that close to winning it. Blah blah blah. So I don't even want to look at FIFA. Like I'm done at that point, right? That's my time to rest. I've been grinding all year. Everything went how it went. But then the beta came out, and I'm like, but I have this itch now, and I have to try it. I'm not gonna play it for long. I have to try it. I played the game. One game in, I said, that's it.
It just took one game. Yeah.
There ain't no goddamn patch that's going to come out that's going to save this game. I cannot believe what I was seeing on my screen. You see, obviously, because I've played a lot, you've played a lot of FIFA. You can tell instantly. You don't need a lot of games. You need the games to master the flaws, but you don't need a lot of games to know, give or take, what's happening. I need one game in, it's over. One game in. That's when I decided I'm making a YouTube channel. I need to bring this up. I'm done. I was ticked. I was pissed off. Red lights. I was done. After the year we've just had, and they were there in that World Cup, sitting there, all of them, not devs, whoever, they were all sitting there telling me, FIFA 19, you wait. We're going to fix it. We're going to fix it. Yeah, you sure fixed it. You ended it. That's what you done.
Yeah. It's, dude, I can't even imagine what it's like to, I can't imagine what it's like to be a competitive player in this game. Like, I like being a content creator. That's my thing. I just want to be a content creator. But competing in this game must be the most frustrating thing in the world. Because even to be fair to dude, I gotta say this, man. You know MS-DOSry, right? For me personally, I've analyzed his gameplay. Love the way this kid plays, man. This kid plays some proper football, right?
It's top quality.
And top quality, man. And I was watching it and I was like, wow, like when you're watching him, you're like, this kid's an elite player. You know he's one of the best, right? And then Kurt, I felt so bad for the kid because I some people who are from Saudi Arabia, they'll come to the stream and they're like, dude, Inception, he cannot play like that when he's home. And I'm like, nah, there's no way. And I'm like, I go to his YouTube channel. It's not English, but I'm just watching the gameplay part, right? And I'm like, dude, that same style that he was playing at the LAN tournament, he was not able to do when he was at home. And like he would get certain results that for him in the community, it's unacceptable, right? Because he would get like, I don't know what his results would be. People told me that in for him, it's just an unacceptable result. But it just made me think, I'm just like, at home, right? You're playing one gameplay, different gameplays, whatever. But then when you get to these tournaments, as a pro player, you have to adjust to whatever it is that they throw at you. And I was told, Kurt, that the last tournament that they did, that the big one, a lot of the pro guys, they told me they liked the gameplay. Like, yes, the finesse shot meta was shit, whatever, but the general feel of the game was good. And I'm like, okay, I want to watch it. So when I watched that MS-DOSry game, I'm like, okay, he can actually play that specific style, so maybe the gameplay was good. But I was thinking two different things, Kurt. When you're at home, again, gameplay is always different. So that's not a good way to prepare, even if you face people in a friendly match. Like, let's just say you want to face Spencer, or you want to face Tass, you want to face Sean, whatever. It's not the same as going to that LAN tournament and then playing on that. And then there's the second thing, right, where when you go to the LAN tournament, you can use whatever you want, but when you're at home, you can't, right? Like, yeah, you're given these good players, but if you use a specific player that you are not familiar with, like, let's just say, for instance, instead of using Pele as a left mid or a left cam, you want to use Ronaldinho, but apparently at the LAN tournament, you're not happy with Ronaldinho's high-low work rates instead of Pele's high-medium work rates. Like, the specifics, right? And I feel like, competitive-wise, that must be one of the most frustrating things ever, to not know what you want to use when you get there, you know?
I'll give you the perfect example, right?
Okay.
I've put 500 quid into this game at the start.
Okay.
It's a vast amount of money, significant. In my opinion, that's a lot more than what the average would put. Got myself decent team, Ronaldo, stuff like that. I thought, okay, I'm fine, huh? Here we go. Let me tell you how much my team is compared to everyone else, right? 95% of the pros have a better team than me. And you know who's on my team? Ronaldo, Cruyff, Vieira. Eusebio have just got recently.
Mm-hmm.
Mediocre backline, whatever. Really good team, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely nowhere near any of the pros. I'm going to this event coming up in Atlanta, my one event this year. Not use a single player that I'm going to be using at the event. Not use a single one of these players.
Yeah.
Maybe Vieira I'll use at the event. Ronaldo, obviously, I'll probably use his blue card. Now Team of the Years have come out. In my opinion, they've actually completely even more broken the game, because I don't know if you've been seeing lately, but apart from the extra meta now, there's another meta coming in thanks to that fraud, Mr. Harry. Go down the wing, do an El Tornado cross whipping. I don't know if you've seen it, but that's what the current meta is right now.
I think people told me that it's like when you
Oh,
go
yeah,
to the
you need to
sides,
watch
you
it, you
go
need to watch it.
backwards and then you go
Yeah,
to
yeah.
the far post, right? Yeah.
So
the El
do an El
Tornado
Tornado
one, yeah.
course. I still can't even say that clear, an El Tornado course, but this is the same company that wants a realistic FIFA, but they had an El Tornado. Yeah, but whatever. So you do an El Tornado cross, whip it back post, and these blue cards, if you have blue Mbappe, even blue Messi's probably never even actually scored one goal in real life with his head, and that was in the Champions League final. I don't think I've seen him score another goal with his head. Anyways, 99 jump and 99 head and accuracy. Messi will outjump any of your fullbacks. You time the green, or whatever the fuck that green timing is, whatever it is.
On the headers as well.
Go straight in.
Yeah.
Because obviously that's how the time shoot, and that genius developer that decided to add this sort of thing right there is sitting there thinking he's not caused any issues. Well, let me tell you right now, mate, you've destroyed this game. So I have to sit there and I have to play these type of guys right now, this type of FIFA, watching that on my screen, and I cannot implement that. Okay, I know people are gonna. If you're a competitive player, you have to use every single flaw to your advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough, but my brain cannot add that in. That's not football to me. I can't do that. These first time finesses, I can't do those. I will not do those. That is not football. There is absolutely no way resembles anything that I've seen. And so now these crosses coming in as well with these blue cards. It's a mess right now on a competitive level. People don't even have any idea, right? You guys, when you play at home, you think your game is broken. Wait until you play it. Wait until you see the pros playing it. Oh, for the love of God, with these teams as well. It's embarrassing. There's not more to add. That's embarrassing.
There's also like the new Team of the Year meta where I've seen some people using like a Team of the Year Sergio Ramos starting off in a back five, and then they'll put him as one of their CDMs and stuff. Like
people can do. You see that usually, as I said, I don't. People do, but yeah, it's broken. I knew this was going to happen before the Team of the Years even come out. When you have something like timed finishing in, when you have these blue cards in there, it's just going to create a mess, and it's sad, as I said. But I don't even care anymore for this year, in the sense that as much as I want the game to be fixed, I know it's not, because let's be honest, right? They're going to add a patch in about a month. I think end of January. I think Corey said, which. I love about that, because we're the halfway through the game cycle, and the game is, in my opinion, going to be dead after Team of the Year. And by that I mean, people think that, oh, you're exaggerating when you say it's dead. No, it is dead. And come team, they're going to release the patch, which, as I said, already too late. They'll probably nerf them a bit. They're not going to remove them. They're not going to remove time to finishing. They're not going to remove moving the keeper until the end of the year. For FIFA 20, obviously, I'm hoping, because you never know with these clowns. But yeah. So wait until you see it competitively. It's a whole mess.
When is the new competitive tournament for you guys?
I think there's one coming up. I know there's one coming up shortly. Mine's going to be in February, but I think there's one coming up in next week or this week.
There's one in Singapore, I think.
Yeah, that one's a bit late. I think there's one coming up. I think next week is the main one. You wait until you see next week's gameplay. Honestly, everyone should just tune in just to laugh, because it's embarrassing.
I think a lot of people do see it, but then some people are just like, I don't know. I for me personally, Kurt, when I see, for instance, like if I'll score a time finesse, like a first time finesse, it actually triggers me when someone's like, oh, that was a really good goal. And I was like, it really wasn't, though. Like when I break someone down, those are nice goals.
Mike, I don't know if you're watching, Mike. You're hearing this, Mike. You're hearing this, commentators, right?
The time finesse, man, is just, I don't know. Like the thing is, Kurt, like for me personally, if I was even offered to do commentating at FIFA, I would love, Kurt, I swear on my life, I'm an analyst when I look at things, right? I would love to commentate a competitive tournament. I wouldn't want to compete in it, because no matter what they do with FIFA, I think like it's still going to be RNG, right? I think there's going to be like your 3 or 4 guys that consistently like will do well, like the Techs and Dosseries and so on and so forth, right? But I just think that like I would like to analyze it, but I would never analyze it if I wasn't happy with the state of the game. Does that make sense? Like, even if I was offered like $10,000, I wouldn't go, because I need the game to be. It's a moral thing, man. Like, I need the game to be good for me to want to like analyze it. You know what I mean? But no, I know what you mean, because I think with FIFA right now, dude. And the thing that I explain to people is that there's 2 different ways of looking at FIFA nowadays, and it's the only ways you can really truly look at it. Is that one? It is a cash cow, because I don't think they focus enough on making the game actually a good video game. Not even like a football game, but a good video game. It's definitely like it's in the state of a cash cow, because the gameplay content in the game is not good, right? Because when you hop on, you don't really know what to do. Like, you're gonna play division rivals against sweaties all the time with the same team. Like, Kurt, the team that I have on my screen right now, I've had for the entire year, and I switched maybe like 1 or 2 players, and that's pretty much it, right? The game should be about trying out different things, trying out different formations, tactics, using different players, and trying to actually play football, right? Because I think in a game like a football game, there's going to be random elements no matter what, right? So if they have their competitive, then they want to promote their competitive, that's fine. But you have to make your random moments in your game less annoying when you're doing the gameplay content stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're completely forcing the competitive aspect on people, you're basically just only playing competitive, right? FUT champs, division rivals. Division rivals is actually a worse version to FUT champs, because FUT champs, the first I would say 11 games is probably the most casual FIFA that you're gonna get in this game in general. But then once you get to that certain point of playing on the weekdays, you don't have a balance of playing competitive FIFA and then also playing regular FIFA. So I'm not sure how you feel about that, but yeah. Oh, Kurt's disconnected. Kurt disconnected. So I'll just continue it. Yeah, that's just the way that I see gameplay content in FIFA. He may have disconnected from the internet. He's not even on the Discord right now, so I think his internet completely disconnected. So we'll get that going once he comes back. But I don't know how the chat feels about that. But that's just like my way of looking at FIFA right now. Like I'm totally cool with division rivals being in the game. I'm totally cool that I'm totally cool with FUT champs being in the game, but I'm not cool with them not having like a regular game mode. Pretty sure EA just cut out his internet so that he wouldn't be able to talk to me anymore. Check out the chat right now. No, free chat. Hashtag free Kurt, man. Hashtag free Kurt. But yeah, no, that's the way that I see FIFA right now. I think that you need 2 very vital things in the game. I think that, and I religiously say this all the time, I think that they need to add an online tournament mode to the game, and they also need to add challenges to that online tournament so that, to force you to use different teams, to force you to use different formation tactics, and for you to unlock certain players. Like, they did these SBCs, right? SBCs, right? Like, for instance, this one right here, for this SBC. Let me see right here. They did this SBC right here for the Premier League SBC, and the players are just too expensive for what you're getting in return for, essentially. They're good cards. They're probably never going to get Team of the Season and stuff, so there's probably going to be the highest rated versions of these cards, but it's just not worth spending this much money on a card that's untradeable. As you guys can tell, I'm trying to like just have the conversation going until I can get him back in here, and there he is. Internet disconnected?
Can you hear me now, yeah?
Yeah.
God damn it, man! That's when you know things are getting a bit too serious.
Yo, I think EA booted you out, dude. I think they came into the Discord. They're like, "Yo, fuck this guy, get him out of here."
Yeah, listen, I'm telling you, man. People think I'm joking with this sort of stuff. It's crazy. Oh man, my bad.
No, brother, it's all good. I was just continuing the conversation, but
sweet. Yeah, at the end of this thing, what you were saying about
I was talking about how like there's division rivals, there's FUT champs, there's FUT drafts, and then there's online single matches, right? And I was talking to people how I was talking to people how there's a huge misbalance in the game, because I'm at this point, Kurt, I'm okay with FUT champs remaining in the game. I'm okay with division rivals remaining in the game.
Yeah.
But they need to
we
add
need something else. Yeah.
Yeah, we need an online tournament mode, but not just that online tournament mode. There needs to be gameplay content, stuff for your viewers to look forward to, stuff for you as a casual player to look forward to. Like, for instance, Kurt, you're an Inter fan, right? Would it not be cool as a football fan to be like, okay, guys, the derby is going to come up right now, right? And you have to use a hybrid of an Inter Milan, AC Milan team, starting 11 and subs. You can use icons that used to play for those teams, so on and so forth, whatever. No restrictions in that, but at least from those two clubs. And then they would give you an option of like, oh, if you win 100 games with it, or win 500 games with it, or score 1,000 goals with the entire team being the same or whatever, you would be able to unlock a really good version of an Inter Milan card or a very good version of an AC Milan card. Like stuff like that to make the game interesting for a viewer and for the casual player, you know?
Yeah, I am genuinely shocked how they don't add more gameplay stuff, because it's the most simple thing to add, I would say, anyways, like more content-wise, anyways. Like, it's not easy to just, as I said, make a mock-up of, you know, the World Cup format, so to speak, like that we had, just implement it as an online tournament, I don't know, something like that. There's so much stuff they can do with this. I could literally write them an entire book about new modes and stuff that they could add. It's really not complicated as well. I'm at this point, honestly, it is laziness. What else could it be? I don't know what else.
It has to be, because I think for general content, there needs to be way more. I think that in football, Kurt, because we have like thousands of cards in the Ultimate Team game mode itself, I think that there's more actually that you can do in this game than you can in games like Call of Duty
100%.
and Fortnite, you know, because of so many things you can do. Like, force your players to use this formation, these tactics to unlock this specific gameplay content, right? And, you know, it would just make it more interesting. I like Kurt, and people don't understand, and I feel like a lot of people don't get this. I like division rivals being in the game. I've been begging for it, an SR rating, a skill rating for you to be in the game, so that as you're playing, the way that they implemented it was perfect in regards to the way they do it, right? Every single day you have to play so you can build up your skill points so that you can get the rank 1 rewards from Division 1, so on and so forth, right? That's beautiful. But the rewards that you are getting nowadays than what you were getting before is garbage.
Wars are embarrassing. There is like even weekend league rewards, division rivals rewards that you don't get nowhere near enough for the amount of games that you play. It's actually it is borderline disgusting, because last year I was making almost 1 million coins a week from weekend league. This year you make about 200-300k if you're lucky, and that's in total. I say if you're lucky, so I mean on average. Then obviously if you're lucky, you pack someone special. Then, but that's literally entirely dependent on pack luck, which I don't know about you guys, but let's just say I've not even packed anyone probably worth over 500k this year. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's this kind of things that something has to be done about this, because people talk about the pay to win. In my opinion, I've got a suggestion. I don't know. I'm sure it's been suggested before. I am a big fan of erasing chemistry, erasing all that stuff, and making a prestige thing on a player. So like, as you said, it's sort of like what you said. So the more amount of games that you play, the more your player levels up and stuff like that. I think that would maybe tone down the pay to win a bit, because I don't know, someone can get like a Fellaini from 80 rated or whatever it is, get him up to like 85 or something. And then you're like, oh, do I sell him on the market now? I think, and then like that will add something for traders as well to know the value of each player. And then you can have a card that becomes super rare, stuff like that. It's, again, there's so many things they could do with Ultimate Team. Listen, when this mode first came out, about what is it now? It's going to hit the 10-year anniversary, because that's when I started playing FIFA 09.
Mm-hmm.
When it first came out, I'm like, I mean, this is genius. This is just absolute genius. They just hit that. I remember saying, I remember my dad was with me as well. He was literally telling me like, this is genius, because he's like, when I was a kid, I used to open all those Panini sticker books and stuff like that. And that gets you an adrenaline rush.
Yes.
Now we get to do the same thing, but then you get to use the players in the game. So it's genius. It's absolutely genius. So to me, when I look at it 10 years ago, and I look at it 10 years later, what's happened to it?
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe, like, you could... Any other company would have ran away with this, and I'm telling you right now, would be by far and away one of the top games. One of the top games, no doubt in my mind, would be in the top games.
It's not even just because it's not because of the sport itself, because I explain that same exact thing to people all the time, Kurt, is that this is not only the type of game where if you're a football fan, you'll like it. This is the type of video game that can be one of the best video games in general, even if you don't like the sport, because
literally because of Ultimate Team as well. Like that's a huge part of it.
Of course, because Ultimate Team, like by itself, is an addicting concept. And the thing that I always explain to people, right, is that imagine, like, Kurt, when you stream, right, you'll still get people in your chat that's like, yo, this game is garbage, this game is garbage. I'm like, dude, you think this game is garbage, right? But you still play it. You're still consistently playing. We played as content creators. Kurt plays it as a competitive player, right? And trying to get that fix for football. But imagine, right, the state of this game if you actually liked it, if it was actually a good video game. We can take this game to heaps and bounds in terms of levels, right? And for me personally, we've been stagnant for 4 years. There was years of potential, right? Like, Kurt, the first time they added drafts, that was huge, man. That was like, dude, this is such a cool concept. Like, your viewers can look forward to something, because when it was first added, it was like, if you win, you get these packs, blah, blah. But then after a few years progress, people are starting to realize, like, dude, you win the final of the draft and you still get nothing. So it's like, what am I as a viewer going to look forward to? The gameplay that I'm looking at is linear. People are all playing the same. They're not trying out. Dude, as viewers, people want to see you use different teams. People don't want to see the same Patrick Vieiras and all that type of stuff, right? People want to see you use different stuff. So when the draft came out, it was interesting because it was like, oh, look at this new concept in this game, right? And dude, I love the transfer market, guys, but you can see right now, Kurt, that the way that they're revolving this game is that they're really pushing it as a FIFA card trading game. Instead of, the gameplay is just there. It's just there. But the game right now is a FIFA card trading game.
Funny you mentioned that, because I'm going to tell you something, right? Right now, I often ask myself, but like, there is surely no way people can stream this game for that long, right? Playing it, right? So I go on Castro's stream. Okay, not to bring up, but yeah, let's bring up Castro. He's the top guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bring up Castro's stream in about, let's just say, 9 hour stream. Plays about 2 games.
Yeah.
Of that.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, so that's how he does it, right? Because then he says he hates the game. Okay, fair enough. But this is what I told him as well. You brought up that thing about how big we're gonna become, right? How big we should become. I told him this to his face. You're sitting there, getting your ass kicked every single day by Ninja, by Tifa. And I'm not expecting that he should be the one overtaking them, right? Mm-hmm. But we, as a FIFA, in terms of the viewers who get, okay, yeah, sure, he got about what? He got good viewers last week as a team of the year. That comes once a year. Mm-hmm. So people can come in and the kids can come in and watch him open packs. Okay, fair enough. Then after that, what happens? It's over. We're back to square one.
Exactly.
It's crazy. I told him just like, if you really, really care about this game, which he doesn't, because I'm sorry, for him it doesn't matter. He doesn't even play the game. So like, why should he care? And they sit there and they're like, the amount, as I said, of potential that this game could become, it's insane. And it will help everyone involved in it if the game actually is good. And I also say this to the trading guys, because the trading guys, right? I know nothing about trading because, okay, fair enough. That's their buzz out of it.
Me and you too, yeah.
But I don't understand, because ultimately you do all that, right? So you get your team. But ultimately, is it not to go play, right?
Exactly.
Because that's the game, huh?
Exactly.
But it's the same with every other trader. So to me, it's like, ultimately, you're going to have to play. And once they do end up playing, obviously they hate the game. Can't blame them. But that's the situation we're in right now.
So in regards to that, Kurt, I've always seen it in that point of view, but I definitely see it why people like to play this game in a trading card aspect. Because I used to have a friend when I was in high school, right, Kurt, where he didn't really like the gameplay stuff, but he was like a business guy. And he really liked analyzing the market, making profit off the market, stuff like that. Dude, I completely understand. He barely played a game, but he was like, it was in FIFA 15 or 16 where he was like top 15 on the transfer profit list. But he just liked doing that because he liked collecting the cards, having different teams with different cards. And I completely understand. That's why, dude, I have nothing against the market guys. I like the market guys. The market guys are nice. L-Dog, Run the Foot Market, all these guys, cool guys, right? And
for sure.
But I just think that for me and even for you, like, you get the card because you want to use the card, because this is a console game. If you just want to make it a FIFA card simulator, you have mobile for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want this game to be just a mobile card game. And that's why I'm saying I feel like EA understands that their gameplay is not up to par. And that's why they keep pushing out this menu stuff content, which, to be fair, some of which they add are good and some of which they add aren't. For instance, the Ibrahimovic one, 180K. Piss poor for the stats you're getting for that card for a team of the year stats. That was a great one. But then you have like this SBC right now where it's Decore and Vardy that costs like 400K for an untradeable card that is just not ideal to use in your game because it's full meta, right? Like, it would be cool to do if as you're playing the game, here's like an EPL gold pack so that you can, as you progressively play the game, you're collecting Bournemouth players, Man City players, and then you can get them eventually, right? But not me using my own coins to go and do it. You know what I'm saying? Like through gameplay content, yes, but like me actually going to trade and make profit and if I have 400K from getting it from FUTChamps rewards, no, I would never do it myself, right? Because it's just not worth it.
Exactly.
But yeah, man, I don't know. That's the way I see it. I explain the gameplay content stuff a lot to people. I explain the gameplay stuff. Kurt, the stuff that I talk about is not based off of me catering to a certain part. I'm saying what I want to say and what I feel, right? And I really get irked when I feel like this game, dude, it makes you angry because it can be so big. I don't think, Kurt, that we can be as big as Fortnite and League of Legends, even if they try. We're not. Those games are on another level, right?
Yeah.
But when people watch Fortnite, sure, you know, you can unlock a skin. But you know what? Because dude, obviously the way that the industry is that the little ones are the ones that watch your content the most. That's how it is. Like the kids, the 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, right?
Yeah.
But the kids watching Fortnite, why are they in your stream? They're in your stream because they want to watch gameplay. They don't go when people are sitting in the menus. They're like, "What is this guy waiting for?" He's been in the menus for like 30. When Tim the Tam Man is doing the face cam thing, his whole chat's like, "Dude, can you play a game now, please?" Right?
Because they actually want
because they want to watch the gameplay. But for us, it's like we get viewers. You know why? Because we have packs that some people cannot spend the money on to do it themselves. I get it. I get the relation, right? Like they want to watch the pack openings because they themselves cannot spend the money, and it's totally understandable. We're talking heaps and bounds of money, right? But people should want to come to FIFA to watch the gameplay part because we have way more things to do than a Fortnite guy. A Fortnite player is playing on the same map with the same guns over and over again. But we have thousands of players in this game, thousands of tactic changes, formation changes that we could do. And we're not doing it because that's not what people care about. We need to make this game about both the gameplay, the market, and all that shit.
It has to be both. It has to be 100%. Like to me, it's sad because people. I say this even for a competitive as esport. Right now, we are a joke as a competitive sport, and rightfully so. People laugh at us. There's nothing like that I can say to discourage that because rightfully so, they laugh at us. We can't be an esport as it stands. My issue is my problem becomes because why should they watch something that they don't enjoy watching the gameplay? Let's be honest. I watch Ninja, I watch Shifu, not necessarily because of them, because they're gods at the game, and I want to get better at the game. That's the only reason I watch them, right? That's why Twitch should exist, right? To watch, in my opinion, obviously entertaining streamers, fair enough, but it's to watch better players so you can get better at the game. Why should someone watch me play FIFA to get better at the game? Because they don't even want to play the game. So why should they? It's right now we're suffering. Every single streamer is suffering, but they don't get it and they don't understand. Because as I said, like unfortunately, a lot of the current top streamers and the game judges and stuff like that, they don't really care because what matters it to them if the game is good or not? All they care about, as I said, is making sure that that next invite to the next capture event is there. And that's the sad truth. I'm sorry. It's just how it is.
Yeah, fair play to the devs, the dev dudes nowadays. Because Kurt, man, like from experience of like going there in the past and the dev dudes that we have now, I'm telling you this right now, and this is something that people need to understand, bro. We've never had people like Zaro and Corey. Like these. Listen, man. I know that for some people, and you might even say it yourself, but dudes, I've never I can't say what we talk about because it's just I would be the biggest bitch to do it, right? But I've never had conversations about the game like I have with these guys. Like Kurt, one thing I'm gonna say is, you know that delay video I made?
Yeah.
That's why they're on top of it now, man. Because they saw that, they're like, dude, he's winning 4-0 and his players are doing this. Like, okay, you know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe we should look at it, right? And we never had that. Like some people are gonna be like, oh, but it's one way to compensate for a lot of the things. You're right, but I used to work in a retail store. I used to be an employee for a retail store. I hated the retail store, but I was an employee there. You know what I'm saying? I work there. That's their job. Their job is to be the community guys to communicate with us. We had a community guy before that did fuck all. You know what I mean? Like these guys actually say shit now, right? Like
no, you're spot on this one in regards to the fact that to get two people that actually are communicating That's important. That's huge. My issue is in the and the people that obviously start arguing with them or lambasting at them, they have to understand that these guys, they're just that. They're just communications guys. They don't decide anything with regards to the game and stuff like that.
They
They're
don't
just
do the
there
gameplay content.
exactly.
They don't do
They
the
don't
game.
do
They
that.
don't
So,
do the gameplay. They just don't do those things.
yeah, it's pointless when I see people arguing with them. You should not be arguing with them. My issue is then this is where they have to be careful. I seen a recent Zaro tweet that said something along the lines of where, kickoff is not there, it's just it's just in your head or something like that. I can't remember the exact words. This is where they have to start being careful, because
Yeah.
I don't think they're experienced enough. I don't know if they know the game obviously enough, but you have to start being careful with what you say, because when you say something like that, that is disgusting, that is insulting us. So they have to be careful, because kickoff is there 100%. They can say anyone else can tell me it's not. Even if God himself comes out and tell me it's not in the game, it is in the game. I've played enough FIFA, it is in the game. So when they start saying that, they have to be really, really careful now.
Yeah, no. I agree with that completely. Because there was one tweet that I saw as well. I'm not gonna say who it was, but there was one where you guys know which one it is. If you guys are on Twitter, you know this clip. You know this, Kurt. You know this clip too, Kurt. And I was gonna respond. I was actually gonna message Zarl to tell this guy to delete it because it was dumbfounded, right? This guy gets 1v1, takes a shot, deflects out the goalie. He shoots it on target with his arrow aiming in the middle, and the net is empty, and his player missed the whole net. You know which clip it is, Kurt.
That's a bug, by the way. That's
brother,
happened to me as well.
brother, I messaged this so fast. I'm like, dude, he has to delete this tweet, because no, that is not. We're not. Hey, if you're on the left side or the right side, bottom side of the 18-yard box, top side of the 18-yard box, fair play if he misses the target. If he doesn't take the extra touch, if he's doing like a turnaround shot, okay, I understand, right? If he doesn't take that touch on the inside to make sure he places it, okay. But when you are in, that box, that goalie box inside the 18-yard box, if you are 100%. In those lines and your player shoots straight and he still misses the entire net, that's unacceptable. And it's not even a thing of like, all these players can miss it in real life. If Aubameyang missed an opportunity like that in real life, listen, Morata can miss these 1v1s that he does over the crossbar, all that shit. Yeah. But in FIFA, you have to score those opportunities, man. You have to. You have to.
That's what I'm saying. And as I said, as much as I like that they're communicating, I love all of that. And I think, I don't know if I'm wrong in saying this, but I think they obviously got, a bit of a shock, because this FIFA community, where we know how it is, right? It's crazy, and rightfully so. And I think this year in particular, with the way FIFA 19 has turned about, as I said, none of it is their fault. As I said, I'm sure they've not come up with any of these ideas and stuff like that. None of it is their fault. And yes, they're getting hit right now, and it is rightfully so. They have to expect getting hit.
If you're a community guy, that's how it is. Yes,
you have to accept that. So, I've seen recent tweets, for example, like Corey lashing out and saying that ease up or stuff like that. I know some of the stuff he's received is disgusting.
It's unacceptable. The death
threats, completely. But you have to
get the hell out of here.
It's just internet, guys.
It's the
internet warriors, stuff like that, right? And obviously, this community is frustrated right now, so he has to take that in. They have to be patient, but they have to also understand and accept that this is the worst FIFA of all time by some distance, and what is happening right now is unacceptable, right? That's point blank. They have to accept that. If they don't, we're in trouble, and they're going to be in trouble because they're going to keep getting frustrated about it. But, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I know what you're saying. There's a lot of things that they can't say, right? And that it's because of their job. They're part of a as much as we hate EA, they're a big company, man. This is, it's a huge company, and yeah, of course, some of the things that can be said is questionable, like kickoffs not being a thing. Like, dude, you can be a casual player, and when you are playing the game, you just feel your defenders are stupid. Like you can feel it, like they're not moving. You can feel it, right? Like until it's not even when you get possession of the ball, you have to kick the ball out of play for them to be normal again. Because you can get possession, the other person can get the ball back, and the kickoff will still be live. You have to kick it out.
It lasts for a bit. You're right.
You have to kick the ball out, or else it's just going to be there.
It lasts for a bit.
My question to you, Kurt, is okay. So for me personally, a lot of people always ask me this, and I think, right, that ever since streaming consistently from FIFA 15, I think every FIFA has sucked from
Yeah.
FIFA 14 to FIFA 19, and I'm gonna explain why. FIFA 14, even though the gameplay was inconsistent back then too.
I
Right?
know what you're gonna say. The headers, right?
The headers, right?
Oh,
If
God.
the headers wasn't a thing, I would have liked that game a lot because I thought the dribbling was good, the whatever was good. 12 and 13. If I understand the nerf pace. If they nerfed the pace back then too, I would have been okay with it. It's fine, right? But
Yeah.
dude, FIFA 15, 16, 17, 18, those 4 games, Kurt, I liked every single game when the gameplay was good. I liked it because it was like FIFA 18. Yeah, it was frustrating. The game was garbage, but when the gameplay was good, it was more acceptable, and you could still play proper football. You know what I'm saying?
This one, I agree. Yeah, I know what you're gonna say. This one, even on perfect, it's unacceptable. It's still not fun. It's nowhere near what it should be.
For this one, yes, it's even if the
Yes.
gameplay is perfect, that it's just the meta. The meta is just not right. You can't have this meta. But the thing that I was gonna ask is like, for you, is what FIFA for you was the best in terms of your enjoyment?
Well, I don't want to go like too far back and say FIFA 12 or stuff like that, because as much as I love those, I feel like obviously that's kind of way too long ago, right? So I'm gonna keep it one of the recent ones. I'm with you. I think every single one was flawed. In my personal opinion, the one that had, obviously I can't say FIFA 18 pre-patch. Yeah, this is where it gets a bit of a sensitive subject. By the way, I'll touch a bit on that and say before I answer your question, I still cannot believe how this year they decided to, this year we're going to leave it as it is, but last year they patched it within a week. It's crazy. It's mind-blowing. Yeah. And again, they were pros, by the way, and they know who they are, that were literally hating on that game because they said it was too hard to defend. Imagine what the casuals were going to feel like. Just give it time, and that's all that game needed. Just let it be. Give it time to adjust. And we could have had something special that year. But anyways, it's what it is. My FIFA, if I were to answer it, I think FIFA 16, in my opinion, had probably, I would say, the highest skill gap. And again, it was not a good FIFA by any means. I think FIFA 14 was, I think you're right, but FIFA 14 to me, the heading killed it too much.
The heading was terrible, man.
So like FIFA 16 to me was probably the one with the biggest skill gap, because I say this every time, right? And that was my first year in the competitive scene as well. I'm actually going to compliment him for once. Obviously Spencer Gorilla, right?
Spencer,
he was nuts on those 2 years,
right? And fully deserved, because his gameplay was sick.
I mean, I'm still like going to maintain, obviously, because we mentioned the grand final. Looking back, it's funny actually that I always mock him about this. He actually had the best team possible on the game. I was running around with Modric. I still maintain if I had equal teams, I would have whipped him. But no. I can accept that he was special, and you could tell when you played him that there's a skill gap there. I can see. I remember we used to play a lot. Sean Allen's another one. I'm going to give him a shout out. He was insane on that game.
Sean was fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, it suits different play styles, and they had some crazy games them too. I personally thought that was probably the one with the biggest skill gap. I remember the dribbling, everything about it was smooth. Obviously, 1v1 stuff like that. It wasn't perfect by any means. It was not. But I think that's the one with the highest skill gap, excluding the FIFA 18 pre-patch. I think FIFA 17 wasn't. I mean,
that's when it started getting really bad.
That's when it started getting really bad. Like FIFA probably the best of the last 3. I'd say FIFA 17 was better than 18. And obviously this year, again, there's a trend where it's gotten worse, right? Every single year. FIFA 20, they're going to have to do, let's just say, they're going to have to do something extremely special to make it worse than 19. But they're going to, I'm not even going to put it past them because
it was from 18 to 19,
get worse. And then this genius comes out with the time finishing and they're moving the keeper. So even if everything else is perfect, right, FIFA 19, if everything else is perfect, which is not, by the way, and I need to get into something because you haven't discussed yet, even if everything else is perfect, those 2 features alone are going to kill the fucking game.
Yeah.
But something I've not even discussed, actually. I can't believe not a lot of people discuss this, by the way, the dribbling on this game. I'm in this, but there are players, right? This year, they've got the best icons ever. Maradona, Pele, Cruyff, Eusebio, George Best. Each and every single one of these players should unite. I'm actually, if I can ever speak to them, if I get the chance, they should unite and sue EA, because these guys are the best dribblers of all time. Eusebio's another one. And the way they feel on the ball, not just them, every single player on this game, they can't even barely turn. They can't even keep the ball under control. You have to do that stupid La Croco crocodile move or the fuck it's called to even
Croqueta.
move the thing. Whatever the fuck it's called. And it's embarrassing. And I sit there and I'm like, this is George Best. This is Johan Cruyff. This is Eusebio. Come on, man. Why should I have to do some stupid skill move to even move a bit forward? Obviously, my game is entirely based on dribbling. I can do stuff with that ball. People only dream. In previous FIFAs, people came out after playing me believing in aliens. And this is not just me hyping myself up. Obviously, I can do a good job of that on my own. But I'm just saying, like, this is something where, like, the dribbling this year, they can't even control a football, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, nah, man, like, it's not right. And as soon as a defender touches them, boom, they're gone. Every single player, this is the all-time greats. The things these guys could do with a football, it's crazy. You watch their videos and they are so created wrong. They're just, it's
Life-changing football players, yeah.
These are the players that, like, to me, like, I mean, obviously I don't remember these guys watching them, but when I was a kid, I was obviously football obsessed. I used to read up on these guys, Ronaldo, R9, and to tell me that maybe one day I can sort of recreate them. This is the closest we're going to get, right? I mean, real football, obviously, it's never going to happen. You can't get them all in their prime, imagine playing them with each other and stuff like that. So FIFA gives us that little bit of imagination to, oh my God, there's George Best passing to Johan Cruyff. That alone gives you a vibe, a buzz, a something. But the players don't feel anywhere near like they should because the dribbling is absolutely dead. And people don't talk about that enough. I don't know why, because obviously everything else is wrong, don't get me wrong, but damn, man, damn.
So my thoughts towards dribbling, Kurt, and this is because, like, you're really passionate towards it right now, and I gotta keep saying it, man. Kurt, if your gameplay is good, the dribbling's great, man. But listen, Kurt, I'm telling you, man, the dribbling when the gameplay is good is fine, bro. It is.
I mean, to me, this is where I'm gonna disagree with
okay.
you, but in my opinion, 18 turn so much quicker just with as I said, just with a simple left stick. I know what you're saying when the game is,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's not, to me, they don't keep the ball close to their feet enough. It's something with even taking players on, right? Like sprint and pass players, it's been dead even last year, to be fair. It's been dead for the last couple of years. That's something that's a basic of football, right? You see Messi in real life. He gets the ball, he gets by one, he gets by two. It's something that should be in the game. And I don't know if you felt it, but me personally, even when the gameplay's been that good, I still can't replicate that stuff. I can't, but I get what you're saying. Obviously, when the game is how it should be, it's faster, it's easier for you. The players seem a bit more responsive and stuff like that. But in my opinion, even if they touch you on this game, the defenders, as I said, with the defensive AI, which hopefully we'll get into a bit in a bit, but yeah, as soon as they touch you, boom, it's over, and it should not be like that.
Yeah, there's a weird balance with defensive AI, because defensive AI, when you get past people, the defensive AI warps to your attackers more than the attackers can actually get away from the defenders. That's definitely the case. The thing with me, Kurt, is that I get it, because I feel like with the pace, they want to try to find the right balance with pace, where it's like, because people want to be able to use different cards and for them to be effective in their own way, right? And I completely understand that, but I think in this year's game, more than any of the other games, the pace balance just isn't there yet. Because I feel like with the pace balance, it's just very weird how far away you can be from the defender and they can still catch up rapidly towards you. I do find that a little bit ridiculous, but I understand it at the same time, because they want to find that right balance where they want to use players that are fast, but they also want to make some of the players more usable. Because back in the day, Kurt, we used to use fucking Christian Atsu as a center mid because he had pace.
I agree.
You know what I mean? That was ridiculous, right? So, nowadays using the Modric's and the Pogbas, that's a little bit better in my opinion. But
it is, but let me tell you something. Like, they still didn't get it right.
No, they didn't. They didn't. Yeah,
it's been nerfed a bit way too much. I'm sorry, but if I'm true on goal, I should be true. I'm true. You cannot catch me if I've got an extra yard on you. Okay. Maybe, like, I know I'm the one running with the ball, but I'm sorry, if I see someone in real life, if they're running, and even though he's got the ball, he's still gonna get away from it. He is. It's hard to get there. Like some defenders, like Varane, maybe they get a bit closer, make a miracle block, but usually the attacker's gonna have enough to get away. On this game, I don't feel like there was any way like you can get away. It's frustrating because, as I said, even if you've got yards in front of you, they're gonna catch up. Doesn't matter who you go, and that's not right. That's not right.
Yeah, no, I agree with you because in real life, right? Like even though Varane is probably faster than most attackers in real life, when he catches up, he doesn't truly catch up when you're through on goal. The only people that
That's
he
what I'm
catches up
saying,
to are the players of lower quality. Like let's just say, for instance,
Yeah,
if you're Solomon Rondon, right? If you're Solomon
yeah,
Rondon and you're through on goal, yeah, a defender can catch up to him, right?
for sure.
But if you're someone like Cristiano Ronaldo, for instance, nah, bro. When that guy's
He's
through on
not gonna
goal,
catch
he's
up,
fucking
exactly.
through on goal.
Nah,
Yes,
he's
no,
not
I
gonna
I
catch
agree
up.
with you. I
If
agree
you've
with
got
you.
the extra yards, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I agree with you. I wanted to get your thoughts about defensive AI because the way that I
Yes.
always explain it to the EA devs and stuff is that with defensive AI, you have to have a balance of choosing between the two, right? So if your defensive AI is more manual, you have to make then your goalie being good, not necessarily a problem for me because there's going to be a lot of opportunities that happen, right? And
Yeah.
for me personally, I religiously preach this. I think FIFA 18 pre-patch finishing was the best finishing in any FIFA game.
That was such a relief.
Yeah, it
You
was.
get you on goal and you know you can score. That's
Yeah,
the thing that
it made you feel good because you can even score with Sane's right foot. For like that's
Yeah.
how good it was because a lot of players were very
For sure.
usable, so on and so forth. So I
For
think
sure.
that game had problems, but I didn't think it had that many problems. There was 4 different things that I
No.
wanted to fix, right, in FIFA 18
Yeah.
pre-patch, and I'll explain to you, and I want your opinion on this, okay?
Yeah.
So switching was terrible because of inconsistent gameplay.
Yeah,
You get good gameplay, the switching is good, but the switching in general was bad, right?
It's always an issue, isn't it? The
Yes.
switching? It's always been an issue.
Always bad. When you switch to the person, the acceleration of the defender wasn't good enough in relationship to the acceleration that that the attacker does. But the thing is that in football, an attacker will always have the lead over the defender because the attacker knows where he wants to go, but the defender needs to predict where you want to go, right? So the acceleration for the defenders had to be better because of the reaction time in terms of selecting, which position he's going to go to. And then the third one, which is the biggest one, is that there was one goalie animation where if you shot the ball directly at the goalkeeper, by the ways, in FIFA 18 pre-patch, if you shot the ball directly at the goalkeeper from a driven shot, it means that your angle was not good enough, right? So if you hit it into the middle, you did not deserve to score because it wasn't a good enough angle. Yes, and it went in because there was a weird leg animation, right? That animation I wanted them to fix. But Kurt, those were the only 3 or 4 things that needed to be fixed.
I was about to tell you this. Every flaw you just mentioned, I can deal with that because you can fix it. I can deal with that. What they then went on to do was obviously go in the typical EA fashion completely the other way and then up the defensive AI a bit. Well, not a bit. They upped it up a lot from what the pre.
It was a lot, yeah.
But to be fair, that is even nowhere near what it is in FIFA 15. Back to those FIFA 17 days and even more. And obviously right now, let me tell you something about the meta again of what pros are doing. Not just pros, everyone has. So they park the bus, defend deep, really deep, whatever, drop back, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Because the dribbling's so dead, so you're at a disadvantage. Anyways, so what they do is you can pass about, you're not going to get in behind them. It's just not going to happen because they're too far deep. So what you have to do is you have to either try literally pass inside the box because finesse shots or stuff like that, as OP as they are, what they are doing is obviously become so good at moving the keeper that you're not going to be able to score like that against them.
Yeah.
Which is in past FIFAs, if someone defended that deep, you'd be able to score long shots against them, which you should from time to time score.
You should,
if you've
absolutely.
got the space.
Especially if someone's parking the bus. Yeah.
I'm saying on this FIFA, that's fucking gone because now that they can move they can see it coming. I'm talking about the really good, obviously, players that are really good with moving the keeper because a lot of the viewers right now watching, they have no idea. So I'm telling you how good some people are with moving the keeper. So they think it's not even as much of an issue as it is. Trust me, these guys are moving backwards, sideways, everywhere. Like they can see it coming. The only way you can do is if you catch them out with a first time finesse or something like that, which is obviously as disgusting as it should be in its own way. But for sure, the defensive AI, listen, FIFA 18 pre-patch, they got it perfect because it was literally you have to manually select the closest defender to get the ball, which is how it should be. In my opinion, I've said this in my video at the start, AI, the defensive AI, is not rocket science. All it has to do is track runs and mark players. That's it. If they want to take the ball off me, come and get it.
Yeah.
I don't want that guy coming to the, and it's easy, as I said this year. Maybe I should, give a call or phone to us or something like that. Maybe he could come in here because he's more of an expert with the defensive AI than I am in terms of using it. So again, my experience isn't all that high because I always try and select the defender closest to the ball, which is that's the way you should defend. But as I said, on this FIFA, it's the complete opposite of that. And combined with moving the keeper, it is embarrassing right now.
The balance of gameplay is definitely not there. Because the defending, right? When you're playing up against someone, because nowadays you can see the cursor that the person is using. So when you're seeing that someone's not actually defending against you, it throws you off a lot from liking the game. You know?
And there's nothing you can do as well because you don't get dribbling's that and there. So it's a combination of both. It's a shame.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on how goalkeepers should be? So I always thought that there should be a balance in FIFA where if you're parking the bus, I'm okay with a long distance shot being effective.
Yes.
I'm okay with it in terms of like a regular, but I think there needs to be I don't know. For me personally, I think there needs to be a balance there, right? There needs to be some sort of system in place where if someone is parking the bus, because it's been a problem in previous FIFAs as well, if someone is parking the bus, if you do a regular long shot with a player that is capable of doing a regular long shot, I think if the game knows that person is playing super defensive, they should be even more effective than if they weren't using it. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. Yeah. That's something that, again, that's a bit complicated.
It is very complicated. I understand it. Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I think they've got shooting and goalkeeping already close to right before. FIFA 15, FIFA 16, I think it was fine. I think, honestly, it wasn't that far off. I'm happy with that. I'll be fine with that. I think inside the box. Another thing, by the way, which I don't understand on this game, chip shots. Obviously, now it's impossible to do them with the moving keeper, but they have to come back. Chip shots is a very good form of scoring in real life, one-on-ones. There was one FIFA which was really good. People complained, I think it was FIFA 15, because there was one where you could get by the keeper with ease, right? And people complained at that. I don't know why, because in my opinion, that should be a fact. If you see someone in real life, you can get by the keeper. It's easy to do, you know what I mean? That's something that, as I said, I think shooting and goalkeeping, if I look back at FIFA 15, FIFA 16, maybe my memory's fading a bit. But even last year, FIFA 18, in my opinion, they should have nerfed them a bit more inside the box because I think they've saved certain shots, which I think sometimes they were a bit too OP inside the box. And maybe made them save, obviously, a bit more outside the box. Because I think last year, maybe them finesse shots still winning as well last year. So honestly, that's what I do. I don't think it's complicated. They should not really focus too much on it. I think they've been close to getting it right before.
So with FIFA 15's finishing, that's the game that a lot of people, although gameplay was still inconsistent in those years, people like FIFA 15. So here's my opinion about FIFA 15. The animation of the goalkeeper needed to be fixed, because when you got past the goalkeeper, you know how in real life if a goalie comes out of the box but then you do a really good dribble around them, the goalie starts climbing with his arms to go and chase after the ball and stuff. If you get past, you know what I'm talking about, like Ronaldo, Brazilian Ronaldo used to do it all the time in real life, right? The thing that I always told people in FIFA 15 is that the reason why I didn't hate the finishing in FIFA 15 is because if I got 1v1 against your goalkeeper, that is your fault because you didn't defend well enough. Yes, there's random stuff like deflection can happen, so on and so forth. But
that's how it should be. I don't care how I got.
Exactly. If I'm through on goal, Kurt, and your goalie is pushing out of his net, and I get past your goalkeeper, it should be the easiest thing for me to do. You know what the game should actually let me do when you're outside the box? It should let me chip it over the goalkeeper because you fucked up. You fucked up. If you're composed.
14, actually, we could chip. I think it was one FIFA. I think it was FIFA. Them chips were so good on FIFA.
The Air Japes chip, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That has to come back. That's a form of scoring, as I said. To me, it's not complicated. They should not. I can't believe, as I said, FIFA 19, and they've got that obviously also horrible. I can't believe.
Yeah, chip shots. It really sucks because there's actually a game mechanic in FIFA where I don't know if the EA devs know this, but there's a game mechanic in FIFA where your players' chip shots are actually more consistent when you're holding LB before you get close to the goalkeeper. So you can't do it like as a last second decision where you hold LB or L1 and then you press the shoot button. You have to be holding it like 2 or 3 seconds in advance.
I know what you're saying.
It's more consistent, but it's not really the case. Like, dude, I keep telling this to people, man, but your defensive AI is overpowered, right? But when I get 1v1, there should be so many different ways of scoring, Kurt, right? Like I should be able to. I really hate that with the deepest passion that they removed the driven finesse shot. Oh my god!
I
can't even fathom who decided that should be removed in the game, because that is literally the one way people score the most in real life, is placing the ball on the floor.
Is what I'm saying. This is
and
why
it was like,
people
that one pissed me off, man. I'm like, what?
I don't understand that, because yes, maybe it was a bit too repetitive. That's why they should do what you said. Add a bit more means of scoring.
Yes.
Make it more like random, as in like in terms of like, yeah, it is what they tried to do this year, obviously, but they got horribly wrong. It's different ways of scoring, different angles, different posts, blah blah blah. Make it like that. You know, obviously try and balance, not near post often, you know. But in my opinion, that yes, there should be easy means of scoring inside the box. I don't care how it is. As you said, if I got through 1-on-1, I don't care how I got through. And even me, if someone gets through 1-on-1 against me, let him score. By all means, let him score. I couldn't give a shit. Let him score. Even if he got through by some
If he takes a proper shot,
ahead,
yes.
I don't care.
Yeah.
If as I said, if he does the right thing or whatever, like just finesses around my keeper or the driven finesse, stuff like that, which is what, you know, still should be in the game, as you said. I don't care. Let him score. I couldn't care.
Yeah, because you didn't defend well enough. That's what it was. If someone breaks your defense down, you just didn't defend well enough. The angles, because I see some people in the chat asking, and I don't know if you have the stream open, Kurt, but I'll even show what angles I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I do.
Where there's certain elements that, okay, understandable that there's an RNG element, or if you pay for a higher tier player, like if you have a Prime R9 and he hits these angles, so be it, because you're paying for it, right? But there's these specific angles right here, the angles that I'm talking about in FIFA is these ones, right? So when you are here, right, and you get into this position right here, that should be a goal every single time, right? Because that angle that you have towards your goalie is good.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Previous years, right, in last year's game, if you got over here with this angle and you did a driven finesse shot, that should be a goal too, right? It's these ones that I understand. If you're like this over here and your player's doing that, yeah, that authenticity of it being a little bit more random.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that for sure.
You know what I mean? But dude, when I get here with Salah or anything like that, I expect to score that goal 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10. That's how, even 10 times out of 10, right? I could be using fucking Mitrovic from Fulham and I want to score those opportunities to make more players usable, because dude, you people need to understand, if you're in this angle and your defensive AI is effective and they're still not getting the ball, you 100% should be scoring the opportunity, right? If you get into this angle, that means that they didn't defend well enough to have that center back in a position to block that angle of you cutting inside into the middle and then scoring that opportunity, right? I mean, dude, I can go on with the finishing, but I understand that, right? I understand that point of view.
That's what I'm saying.
Of finishing, but it needs to be, dude, I'll show you guys the animation, right? And I know some of the EA devs are here right now. Look, this is the animation I'm talking about, right? When you have the ball and you're holding LB, look, hand off, holding LB, the goalie pushes, those ones are the more consistent ones. When you're holding it before the goalie comes at you. But you cannot do this where it's like, oh, I'm using Cristiano Ronaldo, goalie's coming out, little chip shot. A nice little chip where the goalie does the animation, like, because the goalie's, especially Courtois always does this animation in real life, where he does like this. He does this, but like if you're like Lionel Messi and you're chipping it over him from a good distance away from the goalkeeper, from a 1v1, it should be going into the back of net to add variety in terms of scoring, right?
That's what I'm saying.
But that's just my opinion in regards to finishing. People will see that differently, but I think that, dude, if you're here, right, and you add EA devs, if you guys add good gameplay game modes and your silver players and bronze players don't hit that, you see what Ronaldo just did there? That should never happen. Ever. Yeah, exactly. Right? But a bronze and silver player, if they do that, hey, man, understandable. Understandable. If you add really cool challenges where it's like, shit, man, this guy, I can't believe he just missed that opportunity. But dude, if I'm over here, Ronaldo, and I'm doing that, that's a little bit farther away, but from a medium distance, I expect to score it. I really do. I expect to score most opportunities.
I'm with you on
that. That's just with me with finishing. Again, your defensive AI is already effective, so when I get through and I'm on a good angle, yeah, I should score most of the opportunities with gold players, because you should, right? Because having the concept, right? Having this way of thinking of like, it's not realistic. The game right now is not realistic. So making it so that, dude, and I keep saying those FIFA 18 gold cards, man, FIFA 18 pre-patch finishing was so fucking awesome, because I would be losing a game 3-0 and my mind process was like, you know what? if I open up the space well enough and I get into good angles for 1v1s, I'm gonna score them. I'm gonna
with you.
score
Listen,
them.
I
And it
was a
didn't make me
teacher.
feel like shit, you know?
It was a relief. Like, I was the calmest guy when I'm 2-on-1. There was absolutely, I'm like, I'm gonna bury. Now I'm 2-on-1. I am shitting bricks.
You
I
don't
kid
know.
you
You
not.
don't
I am
know.
shitting bricks. I don't know where I'm gonna go, where that guy's gonna go. He's moving backwards. I can see the keeper. Now the defenders are catching up to me. What do I do if I try and shoot? I'm gonna. Come on, man. Come on.
If there's this composure stat, right, where these defenders are on top of you, if there's a defender next to you, right, and there's a thing where it's like he may take a bad shot, fair play. But when there are good angles and the defenders are nowhere near them, man, they gotta be scoring these shots, man. If I'm cutting inside and I'm on that angle, they gotta be scoring that because, dude, there's nothing more disheartening when you have a thought process of breaking someone's defense down and fucking Cristiano Ronaldo, probably the best goal scorer of all time, can't score this consistently. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's bullshit, right? Fucking Martial, Rashford. I don't even give a fuck. It could be.
But it's not even those players. It's bronze players in real life scored them. That's what I'm trying to say. I could score them. The type of thing.
It's true, man.
Don't
It's
under-
true.
It's crazy, but yeah. Now we're at the situation now where, obviously, as I said, as passionate as me and you are about it, and as we've already latched onto this at the beginning, we are at an unfortunate situation because it's what I said. There is a big problem, and again, I hate how I have to obviously target people and stuff like that. But listen, I'm sorry, but it has to be done. As I said, I know he's watching this right now. For example, Goal. I know you're watching this right now. I know you're a big fan of him, Inception, which is why it does pain me a bit that I have to talk bad
Hey,
about
man,
him
you
on
can
your
say whatever you
stream.
want. I'm not gonna
But
tell
it
you
is
not to
what it
say
is
it.
on your
You say
podcast,
it.
right?
Yeah.
And so you sitting here right now listening to me, right? Spendy, I call him Spendy because that's what I call him. And I know, for example, like I seen a recent tweet you said now, right, in January, I think it was at the start of the year. You said something along the lines of, again, correct me if I'm wrong, it was something along the lines of, new year, new me. I have to try be a bit more positive. I need to stop laying into EA and stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
Maybe you got told to say that, Spendy. Who knows, right? Whatever it is, what it is. Well, let me tell you something, right? You are letting each and every single one of us down. You're letting everyone out, but you're like, oh, I don't care, right? Because you know what your end goal is. Your end goal is to go work for them, right? Which is fair enough by me, fair enough. But what about right now, Spencer? What about right now? This is what I'm trying to say. And it's not just him. I don't want to target him. It's every single person, every single content creator. We cannot accept this. We cannot sit here. I can't do this. Like, I can't stay here and accept what I'm seeing on my screen any minute longer. As I said, competitive FIFA, esports, there are these commentators, managers, stuff like that, acting like everything is fine. Okay, tell your players they can't say anything. Right. Well, look at where that's going to lead us. And I've accepted that nothing's going to get done because there is no single patch that can fix this game, not a single one. And I've accepted that now. It's a bit too late, right? But the fact that you have to sit there and you ban me, you fuck my entire season up for speaking up. And now I have to see what I see on my screen still happening 4 months later. Ban me all you want, go ahead. But if you're going to ban me, make sure you fix this damn game because I'm not going to sacrifice an entire season for nothing. So FIFA 20, come FIFA 20. Listen, I'm fully. They're gonna have a hard time selling this game. Oh boy, oh boy. In my opinion, the only way they've already lost people because FIFA 19 was make or break, believe it or not, for a lot of people. Some people they've lost them forever. Right? We are football guys. I never, ever tell anyone not to play this game because I know it's a football fix for us. We are football. I said this at a press conference in the London event. I keep saying it. I will keep repeating it. This is something for us that this is our sport. And yeah, you have a right for the sport. You are representing each and every single one. You make all your money. Come FIFA 20, as hard as it is to sell it. Listen, there's one way they can sell it. I've actually thought about it right now. There's one way they can sell it. In your trailers, I don't want to see Cristiano Ronaldo taking deep breaths like he's going to take a free kick. No. The only way you're going to sell FIFA 20 to us is if you play a clip on the trailer every time I load FIFA 20 up of you firing the person that added moving the keeper and time finishing. Then, oh yes, I'm there, I'm with you. But something has to be done now, yeah. Something has to be done. I am here right now. I couldn't give a shit about competitive FIFA. I'm going there to this Atlanta event. I'm there. I'll be there. whatever you want, I will tell you everything to make sure that we get it right next year. Because let me tell you something, this should have been the year we got it right, and you messed it up in ways you cannot even imagine. But here I am. I've paid the price. I've paid it. I'm here. I've paid it. But come FIFA 20, I'm not gonna pay it again.
No, I definitely see that point of view. So there's being in the community for such a long time. The game is still definitely going to sell. Absolutely, as a football video game, it will still sell. There's a lot of people that say that they won't buy it, but they definitely still will because of the football aspect and because it basically dominates the market in relation to PES. But your general
100%.
video game people will have already just had enough, man. This is the year where 2 weeks in, my friends who say that they will. I have friends who are gamers, right? They don't watch football that much in real life, right? They're gamers. They want to play a good video game. I have friends who they tell me like, yo, I'm honestly not going to buy the game anymore, because when I hopped on and I realized like after playing for like 3 or 4 weeks, that when I got to like division rivals and it's just like pay to win teams and it's the only game mode that you can play for fun, I just didn't want to play anymore, because head to head's not interesting. I'm not gonna say anything about career mode and pro clubs because that's their own community, so I'm not gonna get into that. I am an Ultimate Team guy, so that's all I'm gonna talk about. But you're definitely gonna have your regular consumers. EA is definitely gonna still make their money. They're still gonna make their business. They're still gonna be one of the top dogs in terms of making revenue. Absolutely.
Sure.
But your video game people are not going to want to play this game anymore. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of people actually fell off a lot this year in particular in terms of wanting to play this game, because everything else on the market is just more enjoyable to play. Because for me personally, like, I get anxiety before I play this game because I don't know what to expect from it. I don't know if I'm going to like the game. I don't know if the gameplay is going to be shit, if it's going to be good. I don't know what to expect from it. And then on top of that, in Ultimate Team, the game mode where you should have so much to do, there's nothing to do, right? When you get to division rivals, when you're in the top divisions, you don't want to play anymore because it's the only option. There's a balance that needs to be there. You need to, I don't care what anybody says, listen to me when I say this. That online tournament format that you had in the World Cup, 3 rounds against randoms, and the 4 rounds you play in whatever rounds you're in, you need to add that game mode into this game. It's a necessity. I'm okay with you having division rivals. I'm okay with you having FUT champs. But that game mode with fun challenges to use different players, to unlock different players, actually have gameplay content so that 1, your viewers can enjoy it, and 2, your casual player can be like, first of all, yeah, the gameplay needs to be fixed. That's a given, because that's the most important, right? But you need to have people who are literally in school, at work, that literally cannot wait to get home and play this game and enjoy it. There's none of that in this game, because you have a selection of your 100 players or so that you can use in division rivals, because the game is completely meta oriented. No one wants to play single match because it's boring as fuck, right? And it just sucks, man. I like I said, I've been using the same team over and over again, but at least in previous years, I used to use like 8 different teams when I had like an EPL team and a Bundesliga team and all these teams, because it was interesting to try out different things. Of course, back then I used to complain about the fact that there wasn't enough gameplay content. And there wasn't, because when you were playing, you were just getting 15k and it was boring. But if there was something where it's like, okay, we're gonna force you to use these formations, these tactics in your starting 11 and subs, and you unlock gameplay content through doing that, not only for good players, but for bad players, for normal players. Obviously, good players in any game you play get the stuff faster. That's how it works in any video game that you play. But it needs to be accessible to everyone. You can do a season pass in this game where, as you play the games, you can unlock just colors, just a color difference for your boards. You can just do that. Like, if you reach level 10 for our season pass, you get like a purple and black Eric Bailly. No stat difference, but it's just cool because you played and you got that card through playing the game, you know? Like, you don't have to do stat increases. I understand that as a business, you need to make your money. I know the stockholders, blah, blah, blah. I get it, guys. But you can make the game better by making the gameplay content better to make more people want to play this game. If people are still playing this game nowadays, I'm going to tell you from experience, you have to be fucking hardcore to play this game. You have to be, bro. And even if you hate it and you're still playing it, you have to be fucking hardcore, man, because it's not a good video game. It's not.
No. You touched upon earlier that a lot of you have got friends that have stopped playing this year as well. This is the earliest I think I will ever stop playing it. As I've already touched upon, I think the game is dead after this. But to the people that are still playing, we are the hardcore guys. So we need a football fix. That's what I'm saying. That's why I will never, ever discourage anyone. When I see a lot of these movements telling me, oh, we have to stop playing the game for something to improve. No, why should we? It's a fix. We need a football fix,
Yeah,
right?
we
I'm
do.
not telling anyone not to buy FIFA 20. I would never.
Yep.
Okay, of course, I'm going to buy it. Every hardcore guy listening right now is going to buy it. And I will never tell you not to, right? For you guys that are still playing right now, it's tough, okay? It's been tough on us this year. But let me tell you something. By the end of the year, right? I'll release merch. I'll give it away for free. I don't care. We stick together till the end. I release merch that will say, we, or I in this case, I survived FIFA 19. Because this is something that by the end you should be proud, okay? Your friends that have stopped playing it, envy them. Envy them. You that you cannot stop playing it, understand. You're not alone, right? We've got a long way to go. We're still in God crying. So this is going to be tough, a lot tougher than any of you guys think, right? But we're going to get there in the end. Mark my words, we're going to get there. And come August, we will say, I survived FIFA 19.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Because at the end of the day, like, as much as people don't want to play this game, even if the gameplay is fucking awful, it's football, man. Like, Kurt, me and you are the same. Listen, man, when it comes to football, right? In real life, if we don't have football, it doesn't matter what type of job you have. It doesn't matter how you're making your money, whatever. But if we don't have football, our life sucks, man. Like, it's boring, right? If we don't have football, like, you go to your boys. What do you talk about? What are you going to talk about? You're not going to talk about you're not going to talk about fucking, oh yeah, man, like, you know, how's your life? How's school? Like, no, fuck that shit. You want to talk about football because that's your life. That's what your life revolves around. So that's the fix, right? People get home, they watch a game. The first thing they think is, dude, I want to go play a video game right now. I want to play the football game because what I just watched, I want to like do that in the game. You know what I'm saying? And I get the football fix. I get that. But as a video game, even with how addicted I am to football, how much I love the sport, it's hard for me to play this game as a video game. You know?
100% in that regard. 100%. But as I said, if you don't play it for a single week, right, you're going to get that itch. You know what I'm talking about. You get that. You get it. You will go and you will play it. It might only last one game. You'll come back off, but you will have to go and play that game. And that's what I'm saying with EA. I'm not saying, that's what I'm saying. I'll never tell anyone not to play it. Of course, we have to play it. Come on, we have to play it. But come on.
They got us hooked because it's a sport, man. It's because it's the sport.
It's a sport, and it's obviously Ultimate Team, the most addicting game mode I think I will ever play. Congratulations. But man, oh man, you owe us not just for this past year, for the past 5-6 years, but yes, especially this year. This was a straight slap in the face, and I don't care if I'm being disrespectful, and people call me disrespectful for saying this stuff. Of course I'm going to be harsh. You sit there and you say, oh man, you're such an arrogant, you're such a toxic, call me whatever you want. Yes, I am arrogant. Of course I'm arrogant. Call me whatever you want, but we have to start being like this. Because let me tell you something, being peaceful, being kind ain't getting us anywhere. Look at the mess we are in right now. Come on, man.
Yeah, you just can't accept it.
You'll play the good cop, I'll play the bad cop. We got it, right?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I don't know, man. Like, it's like I was explaining to you earlier, Kurt. Like, it doesn't matter who makes the videos in terms of the state of the game and so on and so forth. Like, dude. And this is definitely an arrogant thing to say. It is, but no one cares more than I do about this game. I'm telling you, like I will literally go tooth and nail to fight you to make this game better. I will fight you. I will literally fight you for this game, bro. That's how crazy it is. Because, dude, it's football, Kurt. Like it's too. You want, dude? I love video games, and dude, I can play Fortnite. Listen, these games are good, right? Black Ops, Fortnite, they have their content, whatever. But nothing, I can't relate to anything like I can with football. Like, dude, Quaresma's my favorite player of all time, and I haven't used him once this year, Kurt. Like, it's so sad because you cannot use him in this game, right? Because there's no incentive to use him in this game, right? Like, yeah, nah, it just sucks, man. It just sucks. Like, I just want a good game. Like, dude, I'm not. Some people will see me like I've seen it on the forums. I think I've seen it on Reddit. People say like, and they say the same thing about you, Kurt. They say the same thing about anybody that speaks on this game. That we're the toxic guys in the community, so on and so forth. But we talk even in our own way. You have your persona, I have mine, Kurt. You know what I mean? But in our own way, we do this because we just want the game to be better. We're not gonna complain if the game is good, guys. Whoever watched my stream in FIFA 18 pre-patch, I never complained. I just talked about what should be fixed. There was a huge difference.
It's a long time ago, but I remember, sitting there literally sending tweets defending it.
That's it. I'm like, dude, like you have your basis.
No,
good.
and you know what? The funny thing is, Inception, because they won't be able to see the other side of us, right? When we play, when we talk, and I make a lot of these videos after looking at them, and I'm like, God damn it, I was harsh. God damn it, I was a savage son of a bitch.
Sometimes you do that. I do the same thing, man.
I wish they could see my other side, but I will not. I cannot show my other side because I cannot sit there and accept what I'm watching. Others can, others do, and my wife's Pendy, others do. But I cannot. No chance. As I've already talked about this for quite a while, it saddens me a lot that a lot of the pros don't even give a fuck. And let me tell you something. You say, right, you care about it so much. Content creators should, as you said, but imagine the pros, how much we are playing for money. They're literally going to lose 10K, 20K, whatever, right? It can happen. I mean, to be fair, the prize money this year, shit, should be a lot better than what it is. But anyways, right, so you can lose a 10K. You can lose a 10K match over some stupid bullshit right there. And the pros still won't say anything because the teams tell them, well, nah, careful what you say now, right? Careful, you can't push it a bit too much. As I've already said, content creators, well, they won't say anything because all they care about is the next invite, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But come on, man.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people don't really get that. Is that like, because we're internet personas, right? When we're on the internet, we're seen a certain way, so on and so forth. But the way that I am in real life and the way that I'm sure Kurt is in real life, like even, dude, guys, you guys see Kurt a certain way. But when I was DMing Kurt, it was just a regular conversation because we're just regular guys. You know what I mean? We see a certain way. We do this persona for the game. But in real life, the difference between real life and this, like her, I'm sure if I met you, I would be fucking crying of laughter.
Oh, no, honestly, like, I say this to a lot of people, like, I am a regular, right? I'm not born on this planet, but I'm still a regular guy.
That's what I'm saying. No, I get that.
When I met these...
No, I get that, man. I'm not born on this planet.
Unfortunately this year, though, however, I know what it's like for the first time ever.
This is what I'm saying. This guy kills me.
It's what it is, you know.
You make me laugh, dude. You make me laugh. Like, dude, I don't even take you seriously. Like if you say certain things, right? I will tell you to your face, Kurt. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna tell you I don't agree with you, but you will see whatever you see. You know, I'm not gonna hate you if I disagree with what you think. You know, because I have, and I've disagreed with a lot of other people. But never, Kurt. Never will I dislike someone because they think a certain way. I can't, you know. I don't, like, unless you're a piece of shit, like that's a difference, you know. But you're not. You're yourself, and I appreciate it. You know, if you want to go attack people or you want to go after people in the community, be my fucking guest, bro. I'm not gonna be here and tell you.
I know, and day and age, it's not the right thing to do, right? Obviously,
of course.
It's not, unfortunately, frowned upon, which me personally I never understand, because let me tell you something, this goes in real life as well with friends and everyone else. I want my fucking best friend to come and tell me exactly like it is, whatever it is, tell me to my face exactly like it is, lay it on me, hate on me, tell me I'm wrong, tell me whatever, I don't give a shit. But that's how I like to do things, okay? Keep it as honest and as possible. And I know in this world, unfortunately, it's frowned upon and it saddens me. And obviously me being me got me a half a season ban, whatever the fuck it is. So yes, they fucked my whole season up. They've made me miss out on money, blah blah blah, prestige, or whatever. But you know what? At least I can sleep at night.
Yeah, dude, I understand, man. It's just passion for wanting the game to be better. Like, I get it. I do. It's and the communication part. Like, so for me, I know where they went when they went to your videos and they're like, okay, we're gonna ban this kid because of toxicity that would come from you, right? But then the way that I saw it was like, they could have just messaged you and tell you, hey, let's just try not to do this. Like, you'll see your certain way, have the conversation with us, but we want to try to be as professional as possible when we're doing this stuff. So be it, on the camera, whatever, that's fine. But I think, like, even behind the scenes, to have the conversation, I think it should have been different. I think that, because, dude, in all fairness, and I don't condone the behavior, because, like, attacking people and I don't condone it at all. That's just how I am, right?
I know how you are.
Like, absolutely, right? I don't condone it. But the thing is, right, is that I've seen way worse from the Call of Duty community than I've seen in the FIFA community. Like there's worse things that happen in the Call of Duty community because the thing that they get is like, oh yeah, the guys at Treyarch told me like, yo, just don't do this. Like we understand the game can be frustrating and whatever, but we don't want to have this image because the thing is, right, is that when you're a competitive player, and this is why you're looked up to if you're a competitive player in general, because you are representing a certain part of the community, right? You are representing the competitive side of the community.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Obviously, don't swear and stuff on stream and whatever because it's not professional. I understand that completely. You are representing a part of the community, and if you're angry, it makes sense. But they could have, at the very least, came to you and be like, hey, don't make these things, right? Like if you want to say stuff to us, say stuff to us. And I think that relationship could have been a little bit better, right? Again, some of the stuff they banned for, I completely understand. But I think there was an inconsistency of like you said, one guy got 1 week, one guy got 2 weeks, you got 2 months.
Like, I don't want to bore the podcast with obvious.
Yeah, I think the communication for it should have been better, absolutely. And I think, like, not even a slap on the wrist, but I think a real talking to. Like, if, for instance, Kurt, if I worked at EA and I had to have the conversation with you, I'd be like, listen, man, we know that you have we know that you have a certain view on the game. You don't like the current state of the game, but when we are doing the competitive, when we are doing the all this professional stuff, if you're on the stream, try not to say anything. When you are behind the scenes, we want to hear everything. If you make a video, Kurt. If you make a video complaining about the gameplay mechanics of the game, I've done it, and bless the EA devs, the guys that actually watch the videos and stuff. At least they watch it nowadays, because back I don't even want to.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want to think about back then, because I literally was treated like a piece of shit back then. But nowadays, they listen now, man. And I think that if there was better communication, even with the current state of the game and how much we don't like it, I think that we could have been in a better resolution. You know what I'm saying? I think it could have worked out a little bit.
Obviously, you know? I don't want, as I said, go into like that. You know, it is. But to me, eventually though, it saddens me because it's how unhealthy the scene is, right? The competitive scene is right now because of everything that's happened now. Mm-hmm. Because in my opinion, there's a competitive scene, right? I'm sorry, but I want that guy to chat shit to the other guy. Well, it's what I'm not saying everyone. But we are a 1v1 esport, right? And I know there's a debate about this because some are saying, oh, we should go to pro club should become the esport, or 2v2 should become the esport. I've disagree massively because in my opinion, like I don't think it works. I've seen it, like, again, I know some people think it might work. It won't, in my opinion. But anyways, 1v1 is a special thing because 1v1, we have something that a lot of other esports don't, right? When it's a 1v1 matchup, it's the same thing as me watching a UFC or watching boxing. There's something about watching a 1v1 that attracts you, right? If you know who the people are facing off, right?
Yeah.
So obviously when we unfortunately we haven't got a lot of, I don't know, there's events coming up this week and then the week after that. The casual guy watching will know about 2 or 3 competitive players playing maximum at the tournament. Obviously, they each have their own hardcore fan bases, but they don't know enough about them, right? So that's a big problem. So now what EA have done is, let's shut everyone up and that's competing, right? So forget about the personality coming out or stuff like that. So now it's even harder for any breakthrough to come out in the sea. It's in the worst possible state right now, the sea sport. And obviously, and it's not just without me, but I know how it is. It's like an NBA without LeBron James. It's like a World Cup without Messi pass. It's just, it is what it is, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it's something to me as simple as it's unhealthy right now. It's very, very unhealthy. I think you cannot sell it because let me tell you something, right? When you watch COD, right, you watch these other esports, you watch it for the team, right? Yeah. So it's Optic. It doesn't matter who the fuck's going to be playing on Optic. It's Optic. So you don't even have to know about the individuals. Obviously, someone like Scump is massive and stuff like that. So you know him, obviously. Yeah. But, each team, it's a team. So you don't have to know. It's 1v1. And I like that it's the 1v1 aspect. But when I'm watching, I know because I'm in the scene. But a lot that are in it, they don't even know who the people facing. They don't even know if they've got any past history. So EA have done such a terrible job on selling that as a competitive esport. And unfortunately, with everything that has happened now, as I said, they can't even say anything. They can't even stream. Let me tell you something. I mean, I'd probably end up fucking getting in the shit for this whole podcast, but they can't even stream. Because if they're
afraid, yeah.
Any little slip up and you're fucked, right? You are fucked. But to be fair, not in World Top as bad as mine, I guess, because you know you get a 1 week, 2 week ban, but they're gonna. So they're not encouraging any personality to come out right now when you're watching. So it is a depressing state right now. And
I
it does
get
pain
where
to
you're
say.
coming from. You want there to be more of a personality where it's like,
Yeah,
for
because
instance,
it's how I'm saying, like it's a UFC boxing.
yeah,
If you know who's fighting, like even if you're not really interested in the sport, when there's a big fight, you got them gonna watch. I don't know. So I always bring this example. Say like I don't know, you're at a yard and you see all these multiple sports, right? There's a football game. There's as much as we love football. There's a tennis game. There's an American football game. There's a basketball game, and there's a boxing, right?
yeah,
All in like imagine like they're all in the same yard, right? They all happen at the same time. The one with the most viewers will be the one with the boxing match because that's something that's like it's you know it's to be fair, as I said, I'm not comparing us to the boxing, but there's something that appeals to me, right? And I don't know, like last year, for example, when I faced Gorilla in the World Cup, right?
huge,
Oh,
huge,
that got people busted, right?
huge,
Because they know who it is, they know what's at stake, they know how important it is, right?
yeah,
My other matches ain't gonna get as much fight, but obviously I've got my own fan base. But I
right,
don't know, something like bring up. I don't know. I don't want to bring names to disrespect, but a terrific, I don't know, German player taking on a terrific English player that's not well known, right? Both really good at the game. To me, it's an entertaining because I know the scene and I know those two players. You probably don't even know, and you're in the scene at all. Imagine all the other players. You ain't gonna know a lot about them, but it's a big matchup, and no one knows it's a big matchup, right? So, but that's just obviously I went at the competitive side of things and everything wrong with it, especially this year. And a lot of people don't know because, right, it's bad for the gameplay and stuff like that. But what they done with competitive this year is a crime in its own right. It ain't just the bans, as I said. I don't know if you guys know, but we're literally playing on weekends, right? Well, I've only just got back, so I play to qualify. Playing, wasting a whole weekend. As you said, I want to watch football on the weekend.
yeah,
I don't play the shit. Like I play at my own time, but we have to play a whole weekend after weekend. Some even had like 4 or 5 weeks in all in November when I was banned.
yeah.
All 5 weeks, and it takes a toll on you. They even reduce the amount of spots just so they could increase the amount of tournaments. But a lot of the tournaments they don't even matter. They don't. No one is even going to watch. But again, that's obviously just other stuff. I know you've told me you're not really into the competitive scene, which obviously I respect. But I had to speak about it because it's
No,
something
dude. You
very
say whatever
near
you
and
want.
dear,
Yeah, no. You have
very
to.
near and dear to my
100%.
heart. But yeah, I know a lot of people, as I said, they love when we mention competitive, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. But again, it's something I want to improve. But as far as I'm concerned, yeah, I'm not in the scene this year.
So your argument, like, I can see where you're coming from. You want more of a personality when it comes to the tournaments. You want more people to be more interested because there's a personality. For instance, you know what? I'm totally okay with you doing, Kurt. I'm okay with you saying like, okay, so when you're doing like the interviews and stuff, your interviews are hilarious, right? But it's the certain ones that make them hilarious because you add a certain character. You're kind of like, you know how McGregor has his own character? You're kind of like that. So it's interesting, right? Because people want to go watch these competitive tournaments because you have this certain characteristics that people are interested in. People like Spencer, people like Taz, people like Sean. People know these guys in the scene because they have their own thing. But I know what you're saying. You don't want to completely block out the personality aspect. You don't want to watch a bunch of robots play. You want everyone to have their own thing. Like if they're doing an interview, to just be themselves. That's what you want, right? Like to make the esport more interesting. No, I think Kurt's mic cut out. You're cut out. You're cut out, Mike. You're cut out, Kurt. You guys get what I'm saying though, chat, right? Like when you're watching Conor McGregor, like to be honest, I don't think Conor McGregor is one of the best fighters of all time. Like I think there's a lot of fighters way better than him, but I think that he's an interesting person to watch because he's Conor McGregor. You know what I mean? So I think that's what Kurt's trying to say. He wants the scene to be more interesting in that way, right? If you can avoid the toxicity part, I feel like that'd be a really, really big thing. But yeah, I'm gonna try to drag him in and out. Let's see if that works. Kurt? Oh, he disconnected. I think his stuff goes offline sometimes. He went offline just earlier today as well. EA's out to get him. The conspiracies are rolling in. No, I get where he's coming from though. Like he wants to have more of a personality in the scene. I see one comment in the chat, and by the way, is a guy that was impersonating EA Corey. We already dealt with that guy. He's an asshole, but anyways, The one thing that I wanted to say, and I had it and it was gone because myself, I changed the subject like an idiot. Oh, where was I going, chat? Where was I going? I don't remember where I was going. It was there. It was there. Now it's gone. It's God damn it. I had it, chat. It was there, man. Conor McGregor, personality. I honestly don't remember. I was gonna say something like really important, and it was just gone. Now it's not there anymore. But yeah, no, I get what he's saying with the personality in terms of the competitive scene. Like, people should just be allowed to be themselves if they can avoid the toxicity, but just be themselves anyways. I feel like that'd be really good. You don't want to watch like a bunch of robots. That's true. I get that for sure. Yeah, Aman is a good example because Aman was his like own personality for sure, and I think he was an interesting person to watch because he had his own personality, and I think that was a very, very important thing. You were about to say something about something that was said in the chat. Oh, Tex. Okay, here's the thing about Tex, guys. I see too many people that say that he's only good because he can abuse the gameplay mechanics. Let me guys tell you something about the kid, okay? Tex uses these game mechanics because he has to, okay? Because if you don't, you're put at a disadvantage, right? People need to remember that in FIFA 18, that was, to be honest, it was an awful game too, in my opinion, right? Especially with inconsistent gameplay being a thing for all these years. But Tex qualified for the tournament with a very, in regards to competitive FIFA, he qualified with a very mediocre team. The only thing you can truly abuse in last year's game was the driven shots and the driven pass instant shot meta. But everything else was all on him. People need to remember the skill moves that this kid was popping off with in FIFA 18, completely destroying a defensive AI-oriented defense. Don't shit on people just because they have to abuse the game mechanics to be able to score and to win in certain opportunities. You have to understand that he's using it because he has to, but he is a good player. You know what I'm saying? MS Dostry, we were talking about him earlier, man. MS Dostry, I love that kid's playstyle, man. I love it. I love that kid's playstyle because he plays on LAN at that tournament that we reviewed for the YouTube video. On LAN, the kid knows how to play football, and it was so nice to see that kid. Oh my God, MS Dostry, this would be me in the center, would run, even if we had a similar team, would run circles. He would run circles around me, man, because the kid is unbelievable. But when I watch him play on his own screen at home, it's different, man. He can't play, because I analyze these games, right? He can't play that same style. You know what I mean? He can't. And I know that some of you guys are going to be like Tex over Dostry, and that's fine, because you guys are fan of certain players, and that's awesome. But Tex does do attractive football too, man. That tournament that he won was the tournament that I watched, and he was doing... That type of gameplay where he was skilling people was fun gameplay to watch. Corey needs to let me know if this EA Corey guy, because I banned one guy. I don't know if this guy keeps getting through and stuff, but yeah. That FIFA 18 tournament, man, people need to remember that he qualified for that tournament with a mediocre team. And when he went to the tournament, do you know how hard it is to have to adjust to using a different team at the tournament than you use at home, and then always have to switch to find out what works out the best? Yeah, Night Vision, if you can ban the dumbasses trying to impersonate them, then let me know, okay? But dudes, I'm telling you guys, man, the kid's not bad. Honestly, a lot of the pro players are not bad players, guys. They just do these mechanics because they have to. But he's by far not a bad player at all, man. He's a fantastic player. Dude, his skill moves, that's not my playstyle. My playstyle is more like Dostry's. This, when that gameplay is good, it's like that, right? But dude, it's just not the case, guys. I don't give a fuck if they're here or not. I give my opinion, right? But it's not. He just has to do it. He has to, because it's the meta. You have to do the metas. And the pro, like... I see one guy just quoted me right now. A lot of the pro players aren't bad players. No, I get that. But dude, this game is the most game abusive mechanic game ever. Okay? It's the most game abusive mechanic ever. It's not like, okay, it's kind of like, you know those Call of Duty pros that used to play like Infinite Warfare, Advanced Warfare, and then after those games were done, they would play the new Call of Duty nowadays, and they're irrelevant. You don't even know where they are anymore. In FIFA, these guys are still good players. You know what I'm saying? They're still good players, man. Yeah. You mentioned they can add stuff like stat trackers mid-game cycle last pod. Tom and Corey's Twitter always say they don't add or... Oh, okay, I keep skipping because a lot of people in the chat. Last pod, Tom and Corey on Twitter always say that they don't add or take things out mid-cycle, time, finesse, goalkeeper moving. They always wait until next year. Are the only 3 ways of adding content and features to this game: coins, packs, and cards. In terms of content, in-game content, they do it whatever means they can. For instance, I was explaining earlier that the SPCs that they recently added, right? These new SPCs that they recently added, they're good if you have it from a gameplay content point of view, right? If you have it from a gameplay content point of view, they're good. But paying 400K for these new SPCs that they released today is just not worth it. Through gameplay content, it would be worth it. But through paying your own 400K to get it, it just shouldn't be the case. I want to see what they do with this. I'm curious because this is what I've been asking for a lot, right? You know, players that are probably never going to get stat upgrades, to actually give them stat upgrades. I think that's like a very important thing. As you guys can tell, I am consistently trying to come up with topics from the chat because Kurt's not reconnecting because I think EA got to his internet, you know. I think they got to his internet. DDoS, man, DDoS. Should FIFA scrap being annualized? Yes, I think so. I think at this point in a football game, there's not really much you can add. I think that if it's based off of a yearly subscription, I think that's the most ideal thing. You make a game that is the best game that it can possibly be, and then you just add different types of content in the new game. That's literally what every other game company does right now. When you play Call of Duty, it's the same game, different stuff though. It's not even different game mechanics. In previous Call of Duties, you can jump on the walls, run on the walls, whatever. But the general concept of the game is always the same, right? So it's more about just making the game interesting at this point, right? Making people who are bad, good, decent, great to just have fun with the game. Again, I always mention this. I'm cool with Division Rivals being added into the game because it's added that element of something else to do during the week. But this shit right here, grab it, throw it in the trash, and put that online tournament mode and add the challenges, because having a lot of things to do in the game is ideal. Because listen, man, even in drafts, let's just say FUT drafts, for instance, right? In FUT drafts, if you pay 15K, we all know that even if you win, you're probably not going to make money back. They can give you a value of more back when you pay your 15K. They can give you a value they could give you the value of, you know, you pay the 15K and you get a value of like 60K packs, whatever it is that they do, right? But if you lose, it was just a colossal waste of time. Kurt tweeted, let me see. They fucked my internet up and can't get back on. Apologies to Untitled and to you guys. We were close to wrapping it up, but it sucks to end the greatest podcast of all time like that. Yeah, honestly, they got to him, chat. It's a hashtag free Kurtz in the chat. But yeah, that's going to conclude the podcast for today, guys, because he did get disconnected from the internet. That Maltese internet, my boys, that Maltese internet. Kurt, if you're watching the stream, man, if you're on your phone or whatever it is, it was a pleasure having you. Even though we disagree on some things, you have your way of thinking, I have my way of thinking. I think the chat definitely enjoyed the podcast. And we'll definitely get that uploaded to the YouTube channel afterwards for the video tomorrow. So if any of you guys missed it, you guys can watch it from the stream. I will keep the past broadcast up for you guys. But I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast today. We were going to wrap it up. We were very close to it. It was probably like 1 or 2 more things we were going to talk about. But that's pretty much going to conclude it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast today. And I'll see you guys for the next video. Peace.